Adam, can you say something?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, all right.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, guys, we got 4 o'clock. We're gonna call this meeting to order. Chet, you wanna lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Jenny David. Here.
Mark Serbrook.
Present.
Scott.
Here.
Charles Wiltie.
Present.
Roger Mayhew.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
We're on the agenda for the park, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. No. Motion to accept.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Declarations of conflicts of interest. Any commissioners?
No.
Item 4, review of minutes. We have the December 30th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I reviewed the minutes, make motion to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4B, January 8th, 2026 annual organizational and committee of the whole meeting minutes. Anybody want to?
I had the opportunity to review them. I'd make a motion they be accepted as presented.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook,
What?
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, January 8th, 2026 closed meeting minutes. Those were just handed to us.
Make the motion they be approved as presented.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook. I'll support that.
What's your signature?
Sure, the clerk gets it back. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Question on that, should I leave one for him?
Yeah, he's coming.
Okay.
Public comment and agenda item matters. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Correspondence, we received correspondence from Wellvance Public Notice and Cass City Resolution urging transparency and a comprehensive regulatory framework for data center development. Those have been received and filed. And then 7A, we have resolution to approve the Michigan month-to-month rental agreement for caretaker's house at the Ogemaw County Nature Park.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion to approve that resolution.
We have a motion, Commissioner Scott,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Discussion, Commissioner Scott.
Mark and I met with the people at, the other day and went over the agreement and all the tasks involved and everything else. So, they agree to everything. I think they're going to be a very good fit. They visited the house. They said that she had said something about been recently taken over by mice. So I called Orkin Pest Control today that takes care of the jail pest control for us, and I'm having them go up and take a look, give us an assessment, and then she asked about some cleaning up there. Let's take care of this first and talk about the cleaning.
Through our legal team, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He rewrote the
And
whole.
you and I spoke about that. The Parks and Recs has seen it and agreed because there was quite a few changes.
Yeah, we got a subcommittee that's been doing the interviewing and stuff like that. So everybody's got a chance to.
I sent it to Commissioner Scott.
So your committee has had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions? Questions?
I was there.
Roll call
We met
vote?
with them last night, so.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew is not here yet. Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
New business claims. I don't see claims on the computer. Did I miss it?
Well, right here, claims DOC. Two pages.
What's the total?
Uh,
I got my notes up here, so I gotta run up, grab them.
One 65, 902.77. Yeah, we're not going with the whole.
Amount approved is $660,205.08. Who'd like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
Motion, Mr. Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. You guys got the floor?
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, sure.
I really didn't see anything huge.
There wasn't, but I have a full page of
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
general information, so, payroll and retirement came to $468,000, which of course, building department got 8 new tires for their 2 vehicles, so 2 and 1,200 buildings and grounds. We paid, for snow removal, $8,679.02. We did our monthly workman's comp to $2,6,200 and change. Agent council was $45,000. Inmate meals for rancheros came to, for the month, $885.50, which works out to $11.50 a meal. On correction side, they got tires for their transport van. They got a couple of office chairs. Total $279.64. Gladwin County's bill, 838 day beds for 26,816. Prescriptions were 1,586.01.
Did you say 26? 26,000.
$26,816.
That's a bigger bill than we're used to seeing.
838 day bed days, excuse me. So we had inmates,
That's more than we've been seeing.
quite a few.
Yeah.
Cost for doctor and nurse visits was Gladwin was $266.82. Aranet County, the bill was $1,504 for 19 bed days. Scripts were $13.17. We paid 40% of the remand was to Lampum for $9,532.75 for 12 corners. On the road patrol side, they got tires for the patrol cars. Secondary road got tires, and the Soldiers and Sailors Relief Act, they were able to take and get a veteran or a spouse current on their mortgage and their auto, as well as auto insurance, for $3,704.88. So that's good that they were able to help that veteran or veteran spouse out to get them caught up, so they didn't.
Question.
That's what that money's there for.
Anything else, Commissioner?
No, I don't have anything else. He did a very good job.
Commissioner, will say anything?
Thank you, Commissioner Serbrook.
Roll call vote.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes,
Item 9, unfinished business. Interviews for the county administrator / controller position. First up, we have Adam Thompson. He is joining us by remote. Hi, Mr. Thompson.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for, so you're gonna have the floor here. Thank you for showing, interest in this position. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and about yourself?
Sure. Currently, I am a finance director for the city of Port Richey here in Florida. We operate on about a $48 million budget. I've been here for about a year and a half. Before that, I worked as a city administrator in the city of Burns Mill in Missouri. And then before that, I also worked as a city administrator or city manager for the city of Bowling Green in Florida, back here in Florida. I really, the administrator job in Missouri was more, they were being audited by the state and was in the process of being taken over by the county. So they really brought me in just to kind of help with the finances and get them out of their state audit. And same thing that's happened here in the state of Florida as well. I came back here to help the city get back in the right financial footing. So they're good to go. So looking for something else.
pick a question that they would like, answered. So I'm gonna move forward. What's the most critical responsibility of the county administrator slash controller?
Well, I think the most important thing is working with the commission and working with the city or the county residents to ensure that there's transparency and that the money that they entrust us with, we're using it the right way, and making sure that the services that we offer is also available to them without, raising those taxes or anything like that. So I think just transparency and being open and honest with the community, working with the board, I think that's one of the most important things that a county manager can do.
This one's related to management style and time management. Balancing multiple priorities are essential skills to making effective in this specific role. How do you make decisions about how you spend your time, and what strategies do you use for balancing multiple priorities?
Yeah, so I actually I work off chaos a little bit. I love stress, and I guess that's why I got into the accounting world. I think, but I would say my management style is more collaborative and accountable. My main focus is to set goals and expectations and give employees the tools and the ability to reach those and succeed. I hold people responsible through results, and I think that's an important thing. But at the same time, I like to support staff and build a positive working environment. I think I do that, by mentoring and leading, and not so much directing and being harsh. I think that we all have that ability to learn, even if we've been in the same position for quite a while. I've managed large teams and small teams, and unions and non-unions environments, and I've learned from people perform best when they feel respected and understood what was going on and what the mission was.
If we were to ask your current and or former staff how approachable you are, what would they say?
Well, I will tell you this. My staff knows I was coming to this meeting. They were very disheartened. They don't want me to leave. I built the team I have now. I was able to hire every single one of them except one lady. I think that you would get an ecstatic answer to that. I'm a very approachable guy. I'm very open. My door is always open, and things like that. I gave you I think I passed along I had two letters written, one from my current city manager and my HR specialist at work. And I think that if you called anybody, they would tell you that they enjoy working for me, and that I'm honest, open, very transparent, and again, lead by example. I'm a hands-on employee and employer. So.
Can you provide an example of your relationship with your coworkers?
I'm sorry, one more time. I apologize.
Provide a specific example of your relationship with your current coworkers.
Sure. So right now, well, for instance, today we did billing. Part of my job duties is I run the utility billing department as well. We have a lady I just hired about, probably 5 months ago. She was doing billing herself, and she messed up billing, and she was very, very hard on herself. She was very upset. But I live by a motto that everything is fixable. We don't, we learn by those mistakes. And one of those things that I've always done in my life is I make you fix them the hard way, and that way you never have to do those again. So we did that. We sat down in my office and we kind of went through what happened. And again, she was upset, and I tried to explain to her, she's a very good worker. I appreciate her very much, and just hopefully made her feel a little less disheartened that she had made a mistake. But it was fixed. We fixed it, and we got billing out today. And I that's just the kind of person that I would want to managing me, is someone that would give me the chance to fix it and learn from those mistakes. And that's what I do with all my employees that I have.
What standards are you unwilling to compromise in your leadership role?
Ethics. I think that it's just something you can't falter on. Especially in the government world, I believe that we get a very bad mark anyway, because I don't think that we're as transparent as we can be. One of those things, when I first became a city manager, I was determined to be an open door, out in the community type of manager. I've lived in many cities, and I've never met a city manager or the county manager. So when I got into this small city that I first became city manager in, I drove around, I talked to people. Our meetings when I first got there was about 3 people. We had 3 people in there, and when I eventually left, it was standing room. So I think that the impact that I have with just being honest about where our money was going, what we were doing, and why we were doing that, really creates and fosters a very good dynamic between manager and citizen and manager and employee. So I think that's, ethics is one of those things. And I think that if you lie to me or try to cover up something, I don't think that's as fixable as I try to explain it. So I think that's where we're going to be. I will help you fix anything, but honesty is one of those things. And I hold accountability for myself. If something goes wrong in my department or in the county, it falls on me. Now I may have to discipline someone, but you guys, I answer to you guys, so it would fall on me to take that responsibility.
Can you tell us what your understanding is of the role of the county administrator slash controller?
Yeah, so just like a city manager, my job is to run the day-to-day operations. You guys set policy, and it's my job to enforce those policies within the city and make sure that the citizens understand why and where, and also to promote it. I mean, there's going to be sometimes I'm sure that I'm not going to be 100% in agreement with what we do. It's my job also to ensure that you guys have all the information you can to make the most rational decision you can make. So. But even if I don't agree with it, I'm going to implement it and push it like it's the best thing that's ever happened. So I think that's important, especially with the staff and everything else. I think if there's any kind of divide between the board and myself, that I think that's going to filter on down throughout the rest of the workforce and also the citizens, and it's going to make it a very hard thing. So my job is to inform you guys, keep you abreast of what's going on, and give you the best information you can to make the decisions you have to make to run the county.
How would you establish and maintain a good working relationship with the Board of Commissioners?
Well, I will tell you this: when I first got in the government world as a city manager, the hardest thing I had to learn was you have several different people with several different personalities and several different wants. So one of those things is to learn. Well, let me step back. I think the best thing for me to do is to sit down one-on-one with each of you guys, find out what your goals are and your aspirations and what we want to do, and take collectively all of you guys' ideas and try to make the best we can of it. I mean, obviously we can't do everything that you guys want, but we'll try to implement what we can and what's feasible with our finances and all that kind of and all that. So I think the best thing is just communication. I think, you guys I need to be knowledgeable of what's going on. I don't want to keep anything out. If something's going on inside the county, I don't want you guys blindsided by it. I'm a very big, like I said, transparent. So if something happens in the city, I want you guys to be knowledgeable of that, because you could be out at dinner and somebody asks you what's going on. You need to know. So transparency and just talking and being that window inside the county administration is what I would bring.
What type of relationship would you like to establish with the elected officials, and how would you resolve potential conflicts?
Well, first off, I'm a talker. We got to sit down and talk that out. Everybody, all elected officials, I want to be. I mean, we don't have to be best friends, but I want to be on a very friendly footing, because I think that's the only way we're going to get anything done. So I think it's very important to, again, be jovial and talk, and us just seeing each other during meetings and stuff is not going to produce the results that we need to be, or we need and want. So in previous roles, I mean, I've been one-on-one lunches, meeting in my office. Every one of my commissioners always come to my office on the day of the meeting if I hadn't seen them, and we talked about what's going on in what the meeting was going to be. If they had any questions, I want to be open and honest and just as friendly as possible, to the point where it's lawful. I know down here in the state of Florida, I'm sure. I've researched a little bit. You guys have the same, laws up there. I mean, here, we can't get together, two of us or two commissioners at a time and talk about anything. So we would be open dialogue and communicating as well as the law allow us.
This next question is related to employee relationships. Describe the experience you have had in disciplining and/or dismissing an employee. Please tell us about a time when you had to give feedback to an employee who displayed a lack of professionalism in their duties.
So actually, that happened about 8 months ago. We had a lady. She was a lead technician here. She just wasn't coming to work, and when she came to work, it was very, very lackluster. So what we did was we had one-on-one trainings with her. I actually had her direct supervisor put her through some remedial training. One of the things I don't want to get rid of anybody, but I also want to make sure that we're all in this, where everybody's in the right position. Sometimes we're just not a good fit where we're at. So what we try to do is we try to put her somewhere else that may give her a little more flexibility in her scheduling and things like that. She didn't really care that she kind of wanted to stay where she was at. So what we did was we had to have a serious conversation with her. We actually, suspended her for a week because she was violating our policies with time off and the way she was taking her time off and stuff like that. And eventually we had to let her go because she just would not come to work. So what I try to do at that point is legally, I do have a degree in HR, but laws change all the time, and I don't focus on that part 100% every day. So we got a hold of the city attorney, and we followed her direction on how to terminate this employee so that the city wasn't liable for anything like that. But the biggest thing about employee interactions is talking through it. I hate to say I baby them through it, but I want to love you through it. I want to make sure that you have everything you need to succeed. And if we have to fire you, I want to know, I want to feel good that you fired yourself. I didn't fire you. We gave you every step of the way to better yourself.
That before, I like that. These next couple are related to the budget wise. The vacancy, of course, you are aware, is for the administrator/controller position. Describe in detail your experience with budget development, financial management, knowledge of the state of Michigan accounting standards, and developing grant proposals.
I started my whole career off working for the county or the Polk County School Board. It's the third largest employer in the state of Florida. And at the time, we were working on about a $1.1 billion budget. My job was I had about $450 million of that. So that really got me into the budgeting side. So I took all that money and was able to disperse it out to where it needed to go in the Title I, Title II, Title III, and our homeless and things like that. We were really able to do some really good work here in Polk County. We actually, at that time, I wasn't really familiar with the homeless when I first took it over, but we actually superseded Miami-Dade as having most homeless children that went to school in the county. So we funneled a lot of money to that. But everywhere I've been, I've developed our own budget. I just, like I said, the city I'm in right now, we have a $45 million budget. I did that budget from start to finish. I started in January. I'm starting our budget right now, start in January, and we don't finish it until about August. It's a huge document, and we do everything line by line. And it's just, actually, it's probably one of the better things I like to do, to be honest with you. Looking at numbers and making sure we're staying in line and efficient and spending our money or being good stewards of the city's money or county's money or any citizen's money is the most important thing you can do. Again, ethically, I want to make sure that no one can come back and say Adam did something wrong with any dime that he's ever done. Everything is always accounted for. And things like that. So developing a budget is what I like to do. What I like to do when I'm developing budget is I create a skeleton budget. I put everything in there that we need. I take last year's budget, kind of add some, inflation money in there, and then we go and we look at what we're going to bring in revenue wise, and then we cut it from there, and then we go to the department heads and make sure they're collaborative in this. So obviously, I don't know how much pipe they need or how much supplies they need. So they're instrumental in introducing what they need. And then we do what we call a wish list. You tell me what you need this year or what you really like to have. And then based off of when we start getting final numbers in for revenue and stuff like that, then we start cutting those things that we can do without or that it has to come out of that so that we balance our budget. The state of Florida, as far as what I've read, I did a little research on that. You guys are required to have a balanced budget as well. So we balance the budget. Like I said, it's the best thing I can do. I think I'm very, very good at it. So when this came as county administrator / controller, I was like, man, that's really in my wheelhouse. It's something I'm very excited about. So, but also I'm a stickler. I'm a policy driven guy. The one thing I like about the government world is that we live inside of a box. The government, the state of Michigan, the state of Florida, anybody, the federal government tells us how to spend this money, how we can spend this money. So I don't veer into the gray area at all. There's other areas inside the government world you can veer into as far as administration, but I stay inside the middle lines or right in the middle of this box in the finance world. because when you start needing a flashlight to look at something in that gray area, I think that you're probably gonna, do something that isn't exactly correct. So I stay right in the middle and I stay focused and I stay, right on with it. I hope that answered your question. It's kind of long. I apologize.
I know, I appreciate that. Have you researched any of Ogemaw County's past audits?
I did. I looked at you guys' budget. I looked at I want to say I looked at maybe a few of your audits. I did I did more research on kind of the needs assessment of the county and what the citizens were kind of saying is kind of the county needs to get better at and stuff like that. That's kind of really what I focused on. But I did look at your budget that you have. I think your newest budget. I don't know if I looked at any audits or not. I want to say I did, but I can't be 100% on that. Um,
Please describe your experience in establishing a budget. You kind of hit that accountability system.
um, like as far as like keeping inside the budget, like how you
Yeah,
stay inside the budget.
You kind of already hit on that one. So we'll go, the next is related to leadership. What are the 3 effective leadership qualities you think are the most important?
Well, again, trustworthiness. I mean, as a leader, you have to be trustworthy. I think goal driven is one of those ones. I mean, sometimes you get too lackluster in your job, and you just kind of go with the flow. If you're not trying to make change every day after being there for 2 or 3 years, then I think you're in the wrong position. I think collaboration is another important thing. I mean, even though you're the head of the county, I don't know everything about road maintenance. So I have to collaborate and get that information from somebody else and make those decisions. Just like I would pass it on to you, I would need that with them. So I think ethics and collaboration and those are the most important things you can have in leadership.
Please tell us about 1 or 2 of your proudest professional accomplishments.
So one thing I'm very, very proud of is the first city I ever worked at, a city manager, they were so small, they didn't have a community center. So when we did anything as a city for Christmas or whatever, we had to go into the neighboring city or another county to do that. So I had rode by this building we used as a storage building. It used to be a pool. We had a pool at one time. This was like a shower area and stuff like that, but it was just hollowed out. So I say, well, we need a community center. So I was on the board of the Economic Development Council in the city or in the county. I asked them for some money, and I also went to a couple of the big phosphate is a big thing down here in Florida. So I went to the big phosphate people. I was able to grab about $103,000. So we took this $103,000 and built this community center that still is to this day making city and making revenue for the city, but we did it without spending one single dime of the city's money. And I think that's another notion to hit. I think you asked me something about grants, and I think I passed over it. But one of those things, especially in small cities, and I see that you guys are a smaller county, but you don't have very much money. I think one of those things that we do is we push out and we try to get the state and the federal government to fund as much things as we can, so we can push what little bit of money we have into those services that we provide, like utilities and road and stuff like that. But I think a lot of your road projects and stuff like that, there's no, I mean, you could get a lot of money from the state and the county and the things like that. So
What types of challenges do you enjoy tackling?
mostly financial ones. I love that, but I love tackling anything that comes my way. If a citizen has a problem with something, we want to fix it. I mean, again, I think the biggest thing that we do in this as municipal or county employees or government employees is we don't talk and we don't make ourselves accessible. And then people think, that we're just bureaucratic red tape. So when you can take somebody that has a problem with their water bill or they have a problem with a pothole and you can make that one person happy, they're going to tell 10 other people. And now you've become something more than you were, 2 months ago. So I think I just think that's important to implement those types of things. Yeah.
Based on your resume, you've been employed by 4 different units of government since 2022. Can you walk us through the reasons for these transitions and what you learned from each opportunity?
Yeah, so most of them were financial reasons. So again, my first stint at the city of Bowling Green, I was there. And like I said, they only had about a $4 million budget. The county, it was a very, very poor city. And actually they had asked me to take a pay cut, and I was already, making less than where I came from to go there. So the city in Missouri had asked me to come up. They were, again, being absorbed by the county. So, and they had offered me a buku of money to come up there, but they also gave me a contract. So like I moved there thinking I was going to be there for a very long time. I had moved, 1,400 miles away from where I was, uprooted myself and all that kind of stuff. So I was really excited to go up there and really make a change. When I got there and we went through the audit and got everything situated with the state, they didn't even have any money. So the bonus, they even, I had to forego the bonus and everything. So when we got there, I had signed a 2-year contract with an evergreen clause that said, hey, I could stay here forever unless you guys fire me. But they had told me in a meeting, when the first year was over, that they weren't planning on, renewing me because they just couldn't afford me. So they were trying to hire the city administrator back that was making significantly less than me. So I was kind of left there without a job in all sense. So that's why I went to I become the finance director of finance for the Job Corps up there in St. Louis, and I stayed there until their contract with the Department of Labor was changing. So it was a good time for me to come back down to Florida. My children were just graduating college and stuff like that. So I came down here, took this job here. Again, I come here with the expectation that it would be a long tenure. They don't, of course, for finance directors, they don't do contracts here. So, but now we're kind of at that same thing. So they're trying to, again, cut costs here too. Even though we have a $40 million budget, it's a very tight budget. It's very expensive to live here. So one of the things they're trying to do is take that, change the ordinance. It's actually up on the ballot to change that finance director into a finance either manager or supervisor, and not have to pay as much in that aspect. So what the pay is going to is about $50,000 less than what I make now, and it's just not feasible at this moment. So a lot of the change, I really would like to find somewhere I could stay for a while and make some really good change, not just get you out of a financial hole, but really make some really good change and help grow and develop and things, not only myself, but for the county. And I think that's really what I'm looking for, something long term. And if you guys are willing to take a chance on that, I'm willing to give you all the time I can give you.
That was gonna be my next question as far as longevity. Our previous county administrator slash controller it was a new position. He was here 5 years, and he recently left. So that's what I was gonna hit on there was what type of longevity you were looking for.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, obviously moving from Florida to Missouri, I'm sorry, to Michigan, I'm 110% wanting to do that. And again, I'm willing to stay for as absolutely long as you guys need, as long as you'll have me. Like I said, I did look at your budget. I think that was a problem. I really didn't delve into it enough. Did do my due diligence in the past. I took it. They offered money, so I took it. And so I'm just really, yeah, I would love to stay as long as you guys would let me. If I'm going to move, I want to be able to stay somewhere. And like I said, I don't think a year or 2 years is even enough to make a real mark on anything. So as a county manager, I think you need at least 5 years at the very least. So that's what I'm willing to give, if not more, if you guys see fit.
What was your thoughts when you looked at our budget?
Well, it is small, but I've worked with small budgets before, so I think it's very feasible. I think that once I get in there and figure out what we can do and what we can maneuver and what different revenue sources that we may not have thought of before, I think we can make it we can do better things with it. I mean, $11 million isn't a ton of money for a county, but I think that maybe with some fresh eyes in there, we can see some way to maybe make some more money, or at least maneuver the money we have around, make things better. I wholly believe that that's a possibility, without so much, without raising taxes more than you absolutely need to. I mean, I think in this climate, it's almost difficult not to. But I can say in every city, the city I'm in now, I've made two budgets for them right now, and both times we've lowered the millage rate both times. So and still, had more, made more money. So I think that's a challenge that I'm actually 100% think I can fix and work with and make better.
We definitely appreciate your interest in the position, and we appreciate your time. Gonna try to keep us on schedule here. Is there anything, I'm gonna ask the commissioners now before I ask you, is there anything, commissioners, that I did not hit on that you would like me to?
Shortcomings. What do you think is your weaknesses?
I'd like to think I don't have any, but
I know, that's a tough question, yeah.
it is a tough question.
Not a trick question.
No, I think I think my weakness is I can probably uh, probably put a little more effort into someone or something more than instead of looking at it and saying, okay, let's reevaluate. On projects, I can do that. I can look at it. I mean, everything is one of those things where I take it and look at it and say, okay, we try this. If it doesn't work, we try it in a short term. If it doesn't work, then we reevaluate. Not so much change the plan, but just change parts of it to make it better. With people, I'm a little different with, because I really think that it's the climate these days. We don't want anybody to think, hey, we're a employer of firing people. So I think maybe I have in the past been a little more I don't want to say lenient, but maybe haven't pushed those boundaries as far as pushing people in the right place, more training and stuff like that. I think in the last year or so, I've become more, okay, let's focus and fix this and make sure that we're in the right position. I've moved more people around than I have had to let go in the past, several years. And I think that, so that weakness is being fixed. Because again, I grew up very, very poor, so jobs are hard to come by, especially jobs you like. So sometimes I don't want to be the person where it's like I don't want to come in with an iron fist and want to fire anybody. So I do want to train and expound on your experience and stuff like that. But I probably my weaknesses have been just people, and I want to make them happy and make sure they're happy working here. But I think that in the long run, we look at it and say we have to put you somewhere else. So.
Commissioner Wilson, is there anything you want to different? Commissioner Serbrook, anything? Adam, do you have any questions for us?
No, not right at the moment. I don't.
One quick.
Commissioner Scott?
How does somebody gain your trust?
Okay, so I work in finance. I'm a finance guy mostly, and I believe, I believe that anybody has a capability of stealing. So I trust everybody, but there's always that little piece in the back of my mind. But I think gaining my trust is just being open and communicating with me. So like again, that's where like I'm an open communicator. I want to be open to the employees. I want to be able to get around. I want to be able to talk. I want to be able to go to a pipe bus or where a pipe is busted and stand there and watch them and learn and talk to them and stuff like that. But I think just doing your job and being a good person is gonna gain my trust. I mean, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt from the get-go. And I think if you lose that trust, it's a hard thing, but I think it can happen. But I trust everybody at first, and I think that's an important trait to have.
Thank you. And again, I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your interest in this position.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Pardon me? Yeah, we could have hit on that. Is that what, I guess, go ahead, no. No, what specific question do you have?
Well, like what experience he has with what this role does, like for you, for setting up the meetings.
The agendas.
Yeah.
Our clerk has a question for you.
Sure.
I specifically do you want to ask? She's asking like your experience as far as preparing for meetings with boards.
Oh yeah. So we have a clerk in every city that we have been that does those things. But like, so I would put the packet together. What needs to be in the packet, what information needs to be in there, and stuff like that. So really, I was hands on with her to create that. If that's what you're asking, yeah. So every city I've been in, I was part of making that agenda packet and what's put on the agenda and stuff, and all that's with the advice from the council people too that wants to. What they would like to have on there and stuff like that. But mostly I work with the clerk to make sure that the agenda's out and it's clear and concise and the information is in there, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, and like what's your experience with, like we had the Roberts schools. Yeah, the Robert's rules of order.
procedure, yeah, that we follow.
Yeah, we follow the same ones here. Well, sorry?
You're familiar with all of the laws, like, there's a lot of times where these guys will, look to the administrator slash controller for advice or guidance
Yeah.
on different, what they can and can't do in a
Yeah.
meeting.
So yeah, I am very familiar with that, and in one of the cities I was in, that was I didn't run the meetings, but basically the mayor would just gavel them in and look to me, and I kind of just went through it, and I kind of directed the meeting on where we're at, what we're doing, and how, what we need to do. We need to vote on this or whatever. So yeah, I kind of directed that based off those Robert's rules of meetings. In other cities, the city I'm in now, the mayor does everything. Every actionable item, he'll turn to the city manager and say, "Hey, this is introduce this." So he would introduce it, give his synopsis of it, and then it would go from there. So I'm used to that.
Yes, sir, it's asking about yes and A.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to
you have experience with all that.
Yes.
Thank you.
How about as far as from a software standpoint, BSNA?
So right now we use Black Mountain. We were in the process. That was one of the goals we were going to have when they brought me down here, was to change to BNSNA. That was one of the things we couldn't afford to change softwares right at the moment. But yeah, we use Black Mountain. It's not a great system, but it is that. But I am familiar with BNSNA. We used it at one of my cities, but I want to say it's changed when I did when they showed me or gave it a test run at the city there. It was a little bit different than what it was, 10 years ago. So it would, but I am a little bit familiar with it. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your interest.
Yeah, thank you. Do I hang up or listen?
It's up to him.
It's 100% up to you.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have Jody Holbrook.
Time clock. Not here.
Oh, I thought it was 40 minutes. Okay. So I guess, do you guys want to,
Is there nobody else yet?
no, the rest are in person.
Stay on that? Okay.
Yeah, the restaurant.
So.
Oh, she's in person?
Until she-
The next three are three.
Well,
Excellent.
in person. So we're
Excellent.
gonna move on to the meeting, administrator slash controller report.
Sure. Items I've been working on for the last couple of weeks is I've been assisting the personnel committee on the update of the personnel manual. Working on budget amendments for the first quarter of the fiscal year. Reviewing information that we received from the attorney related to possible creation of a transit authority. And working on a draft of a RFP for the HVAC system for transit.
Questions for Fabian? Mr. Wiltsey?
No, I don't know.
Commissioner Scott?
No, I've been talking with Fabian here and there about a few different things, so I'm fine.
Commissioner Mayhew? Hello. Commissioner Serbrook?
Have anything?
Elected officials and department head reports. We have a bunch of reports on our iPads here in the room. Clerk, do you have a report?
No, not really. Just, I have asked my girls to, start compiling, or not time consuming, but just a brief synopsis of what they do each day, like how many vitals we handle, just to give you guys an idea of what we do in the office. So that for the next regular meeting, going forward monthly. Always to see.
That'd be good information for the next candidate, for whoever we get.
Yeah, well, we have that, like our IT director. There's a couple different things out in these reports that they put similar, the building as far as licensing and the building report. Treasure.
My reports are on your iPads. If you got any questions, let me know. That's on your quarterly data.
Any other elected officials, department heads? Any on the phone?
Randy Booth.
Randy, you have. Randy, do you have anything to add? You're
Nothing
unmuted.
at this time.
Is there any, from your perspective, is there anything as far as it, you didn't hear me hit on with these interviews that you would like me to hit on?
No, I think you had a pretty good group of questions for them.
Okay. Tom, do you have any report? I see yours is on the iPad as well.
I have my report in there. The one thing I was gonna say is the microphones on the table are directional microphones. So like during the interview process, when Breck was looking at the TV, it was very hard to hear, but I'm wondering if we turn those and put like the green towards you, if it would be better. Jenny, you're kind of hard to hear, and I'm wondering if it's not like your iPad blocking it. And same thing with your
Well-
laptop, Breck.
Nobody ever tells me that.
I moved the microphone right here to Jenny. I got
Okay.
a message.
I can hear Charlie okay, but I cannot hear Breck very well.
There's another one right here. Is that better?
So,
That's better for you, but I'd put that back by Breck, Craig.
okay.
Start talking.
Oh, done talking. Can you believe that?
Should it be in front facing this person who's doing the interview?
Yeah, possibly. If you can't,
Oh.
when Jody comes in, if you can't, hear very well, Tom, let us know.
Will do.
Yeah, send me a text
you.
or something.
Will do.
I don't think I missed anybody. Is she here yet?
I haven't seen her.
Okay. Matters from the floor, any?
I got something I'd like to bring up, and I don't know if what the appropriate time for it.
Go ahead. We have about 10 minutes.
It doesn't, not gonna take a time. When I was reviewing claims, I saw how much we were paying for propane for the nature park. And some of the townships, specifically Edwards Township, has been discussing their last 3 meetings. They switched propane suppliers and had a substantial decrease in their propane bill. So I reached out to the company that they got their propane from. And then I had a discussion with Commissioner Scott in regards to possibly putting it out for RFP. So what I did was I collected the last year's data for the LP that we used, Nature Park, the airport, and transit, which goes about 5,318 gallons. I talked to Fabian yesterday, and I would like for Fabian to put out an RFP for propane for those particular locations. And also, further on down the line, do the exact same thing in regards to trash pickup, because I talked to Tracy when I was getting this data from her. In regards to propane, evidently, we are utilizing 3 different services for our trash pickup. So it would be probably advantageous price wise as well as billing wise for us to utilize the same trash company. But I was talking to Ben Evergreen yesterday. I told him that. He said he would get me the size of the containers that need to specify what size container each location has to be able to send out that RFP. So what I'm looking for, I guess, is permission for Fabian, since this was my discussion with him, to be able to help him draft up these RFPs for both propane and waste pickup.
I would think that'd be with the committees I think it's an excellent idea, but
What committee?
with the nature, you said the nature.
Well, I'm talking propane, so I'm talking the nature park, the airport, even though the airport's a standalone, but they would still get, and transit. So I'm thinking, instead of running to
Keeps everybody honest.
all 3 committees, and I mean, the county's the one paying the bill except for the airport. Just bringing it up here, the entire board.
Did you have something, Commissioner Mayhew?
Yeah, we pay for the fuel or the gas at the nature park,
Yes,
that don't pay for it's out of their own, that comes out.
well,
It comes out
it comes out of their budget, but we are paying.
Right, but
Right, it
it's
comes
out
out.
of theirs, it's not our money.
It is our money.
It's under our control.
It's not out of the general fund.
No,
Well,
he's right. It's not out of the
Yeah.
general fund.
it's a general fund expenditure, isn't it? The Parks and Rec? Anything out of the Parks and Rec?
It's general fund.
It's general fund expenditure. Oh, is it? Okay,
General fund.
Right.
okay, all right.
But it's still,
Yeah.
it's still.
It's still county dollars.
County dollars, yeah.
Right, but we also don't wanna micromanage. I mean, I agree with you, but we also don't
There,
want,
there's no micromanagement there. The bill comes directly to us. They never see it.
oh, really?
It comes right to the clerk's office.
Oh,
All
yeah,
those-
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Those bills come,
we approved the bills like we just did.
those bills,
2 minutes away.
they come directly to the clerk's office.
I agree with this. I think it's great. I just wanna let you guys know, I've been working for Blue Flame Propane for 5-6 years. I sell just to new customers. So I would not be touching anything from Blue Flame. It's all new customers, residential. I've never even been in the office. Basically, I'm employed by them, but all I do is sell to residential. So I have nothing to do with this, period. I just wanna make it known that I do work for Blue Flame.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is like, if you expand away from just the 3 users of the propane that we got county, and go to the garbage side of it, you know, we got a dumpster at the sheriff's office, we got a dumpster here at the county building, we got one at transit, we got one at the airport, we got one at, the nature park, you know, and, you know, I was in the garbage business, it's nothing for a county or a city to loop them all together. In some cases, we built separately and like the airport would be built, we would ask them to build that separate. Because that's an authority. But when you lump in these RFPs like this, we can go to the county road commission and say, hey, you want to get on our RFP and lock in on a good price, they'll bill you separate,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. I mean,
even the school system. I mean, the more you get to go to a company and say, I got this many customers, the better price you're gonna get.
that's common sense.
And what, you got 3 major garbage companies and you got about 5 major propane companies
Correct.
around.
Who do we currently use?
Fick. All 3 of them are with Fick.
Are they?
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
And the prices vary, which surprises me too.
I would say
From
move,
$1.99 a gallon to $2.09 a gallon.
move forward with that. I agree. You guys okay with that?
Airport guy.
Yeah, I
In
think
the
we should
summer.
at least put an RFP out.
We need to look into this immediately.
That's why I'm asking if, you know,
Oh,
Yeah,
if the consensus is all right for Fabian and I to work on this RFP.
I'm paying better than that. I'm paying less than that at my house, but I had to go around and shop around and get surprised on, whoa, oh, we can do this deal. Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things, you gotta ask for it.
Anything else, Commissioner Serbrook?
That's it.
Okay. Motions for adoption, any
Uh,
commissioners?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to bring up about the nature park. Kind of need to clean the house up a little bit. Would it be okay with the commissioners if I schedule the custodians here to run up there? They could take the county truck, run up there, clean up the place. You know, just a few hours in.
Are they okay with it?
I haven't talked to them, but I mean, they work for us and it's a county owned building. Just kind of throwing the idea with you guys, I mean. You okay?
As long as they're okay with it, I don't see a reason why not.
Both Commissioner Scott and I have been up there and it's not that bad.
It's
So
not.
it's not gonna be like an all-day project.
No. Matter of
I
fact-
think the 2 girls, if they go up there, they could probably whack it out in 2-3 hours tops.
Kitchen and bathroom is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the wife moving in, she says the carpet looks good. I would have sent a carpet cleaner up there, but she thought the carpet looked good. Okay, fine.
We have carpet cleaner.
I imagine we do, we have a carpet cleaner, because we've got carpet here. Yeah, but I mean, if they took that and, you know, took a few supplies with them,
Get them out of
to
their,
kind of run it past the rest of the
get
committee.
them out of their environment for
Yeah. A little road
half a
trip.
day or so. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. Yeah.
That's something that Fabian talked about, right? Because Fabian is currently
They're
oversees them.
their
Yeah,
director.
a little sick.
Yes. You see any reason that that can't happen?
They used to run on the transit, clean that. I don't-
Any motions for adoption?
I don't,
Commissioners reports. I seen transit was on there and budget committee was on there as well. You guys have another one, I think, budget, is that this week? January,
The budget meeting for January was canceled.
oh, okay.
We'll be back at it strong.
I just seen the date on there I was looking at. Commissioner Wilson, do you have a report?
Yeah, we got a few things. We had a housing meeting today. Happy to report that, we were informed that a few more local developers, you could call them, were awarded some more additional money through the state. To build homes, so that's great. Kind of like I've reported the last few months, our momentum and exposure has continued to rise, and we've been able to start making some things happen. We'll start seeing, small homes being built here this coming spring and summer because of that state funding. And we're just continuing to work hard to make sure to keep everybody briefed on the new monies that will become available to the state. We're gonna try to keep it inviting and getting the attention of local developers. We do have some more possible ground in the area that will be opening up for larger, more affordable homes. And we're just gonna keep working hard on that. It's a very important topic. I've said it many times. In order for our county to progress, which we are, I was just at a ribbon cutting ceremony yesterday in Rose City, Michigan Plastics, 32 employees, and they plan to expand. The owner of that has great vision. People don't have anywhere to live, so it's a major item, and we need to keep working hard on it. We did decide today that Yvonne DeRosa will continue as chair. I'll continue as vice chair. Yvonne does a great job. Super.
Come on in. Hi, Jody, how are ya?
I'm good.
I'm Jenny.
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. And thanks for showing your interest in this. Yes. Oh, the sound system. We gotta turn the
Your hands
system off.
Off, cause they.
Interferes with all of our, welcome to Ogemaw County.
Thank you.
First time here?
Thank you. In the county, building and area, yes. In the area, no.
Okay, so how we chose to do this, you are our second candidate that we're interviewing tonight, is each commissioner has picked a question or two. I'm gonna ask the questions, and then at the end, I ask each commissioner if there's anything else they wanna know, and then I ask you if you have any questions for us.
Okay.
So, you guys. Oh, do you want me to wait a minute?
They're still blasting.
Pardon me?
They're still going.
Yeah, I think Breck's gonna go shut that off.
Shut them off, so let's.
There it goes.
Better?
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we've had an opportunity to look at your resume. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I've been working in governmental accounting for just over 10 years now. I started at the state, and I left the state to take a local position as a deputy controller. And that was my first favorite job. That when you work for the state, you end up just doing a little bit of work. It becomes kind of redundant. So when I got into that one, and you're, in the finance office, you're dealing with construction contracts and HR and payroll functions and benefits, and along with all of the accounting and general ledger and stuff. And so I really enjoyed that. I became the controller there after working there for about 2.5 years. And as the controller, I got to get experience into the political side of things, which was not as much in my comfort level as the internal processes and having things in order and that. So I was in that position for 2 years. I left there. I kind of moved around the state a little bit. I moved over to the west side of the state for about a year. And then I was down in the Metro Detroit area. And it's kind of a thing with the positions that I've held. I feel like my biggest challenge has been dealing with my internal supervisor. I've been in positions of being the finance director, reporting to And I had a city manager, a township supervisor, and a strong arm mayor. And that was where my conflicts kind of came in when I see things that are wrong and that shouldn't be done. Those things bother me. I stand up to those things. I believe in transparency. It's kind of one of those almost like kind of makes me cringe words at this point, and it's unfortunate because it's used so often, and I see it used so often by people who are the opposite of those things. And so that's where I got to a point that I've looked at more in leadership roles to be able to work with the board in actual transparency and feel like I am ready for that level.
What interests you about this position? I guess that you just kind of hit on that, but
So to me, I love working. My most recent position in Wayne County was a mostly remote position, and the workload was very small. And from day one, I complained to my boss, like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And after I was there for, it was I'd probably been there for about a month. And I was saying to my oldest son, he asked me one day, how's work going? And I said, I'm really struggling. Like, I don't have anything to do. I'm just like, I'm at home and I'm just kind of bored. He says, you need to find something that you like to do. I said, I did. I like doing government accounting. And so like, I enjoy working. And so I don't really see, I'm not like trying to retire at this point. And, but at the same time, I'm older for my career, as far as starting a position. And so it's to me, my kids are grown, graduated, have their own places and families. And, so to me, it's like retirement and career combined. So I still get to work and do the things I love, but in the type of environment and community where I always saw myself retiring.
how does this fit into your long-term goals?
Exactly that. To be able to I've never really wanted to stay around the big cities. Like working there or staying there it's not something that I'm opposed to doing, but it's not part of a long-term plan. Eventually, like I said, kind of retirement sort of things to me looks like, the more up north outdoors, smaller population type areas. And so it kind of combines the two for me.
What's the most critical responsibility of the county administrator / controller?
Communication.
What are the financial priorities, issues facing Michigan counties in general?
Money, the long bonds, revenue sources.
Absolutely. This goes into management style a little bit. Time management and balancing multiple priorities are essentials to being effective in this role. How do you make decisions about how you spend your time, and what strategies do you use for balancing multiple priorities?
I always keep multiple to-do lists. I have a calendar that is, ongoing as far as it can go, to always be able to forecast annual reports and annual duties, things coming up, and long-term planning. And then I have a list that I work on of what I prioritize for the week. And then I keep a notepad that scribbles out daily because things just come up all the time with calls and emails, and things get added to it that are, some are quick little things and some are things that, I need to get right back to, but I'm not doing at that moment. So it's a quick little hit list there. And so when that's full, I can go right back to this list. And when that one is done, then I can look at long-term planning.
Please provide us with your definition of integrity, and in terms of ethics, what standards are you willing to compromise in your leadership role? Unwilling to compromise. That was a big word.
Can you read that one again? Because when you said that, I was like, wait a minute.
Talk about integrity, which you brought up, in terms of ethics. What standards are you unwilling to compromise in your leadership role?
Integrity to me is just to be honest in who you are and what the intentions are, to be able to be proud of work that you do and that you accomplish. And don't have things that you feel like you have to hide from people. I think that for me, um, the ethical things and moral codes are kind of a big thing for me. I'm just naturally an analytical person and tend to lean more towards a black and white sort of perspective on things. So if it's against the rules, it's against the rules. Um, I do have like a general appreciation and love hearing about gray areas and perspectives on gray areas. And I think that there are things that are still within the rules that are that it's so that's like the part of me that has been learned, where by nature I'm like the analytical.
These questions are related to board relationships. What would be your approach to establish and maintaining a good working relationship with the Board of Commissioners? And are you able to provide any examples?
Yes, I think that the biggest part would be to earn and maintain trust. I think that in the positions that I've held previously at other municipalities, that the trust and communication are the biggest breakdowns, and to see them working against each other in a lot of ways. And I see it stop a lot of progress instead of help it. And it never really has made sense to me why that approach is taken. And for me, it would be all about the communication and being open about topics and making sure that you had all of the information that you needed to be able to make the best decisions.
Can you tell us about a work situation in which you were involved with and how it was resolved as far as from a political complex situation?
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot. There's options. I think that when I became a controller and I did my very first presentation to a board, was a budget presentation. And I was hired more than halfway through the budget process. The budget hadn't been started yet, so it was last minute, like right up until the thing going into this board meeting. I was a little nervous. I had never presented. I was confident in what I knew, but I was afraid that they would ask me a question I didn't know. And we had talked about the floor for the fund balance policy for the general fund. And the floor was calculated on an annual basis and given to them so they would know what that number was. One of the board members asked, since we have millages set for police and fire, should we not be looking at the same type of information for that? Why do we get it for general fund and not the others? And I said it, I think that's any tools that you can use to make these decisions for a budget should be used, if it's helpful. And I can bring them when we go over those budgets later this week. But, just to be clear, it would be for informational as only a tool, not to set a policy like general fund, because you would have two policies competing. And they were like, oh yeah, that's great. Can you, bring that for us? And then when we were leaving the meeting, the mayor had walked up behind me and said, don't ever answer a question like that again, with like some other explicits in the middle that I won't, but it was, and I was just like stunned. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And it was, he said, and I was like, what did I do wrong? And he said, I don't have time. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So that night I watched the meeting probably 50 times and tried to figure out, like what did I actually do or say that was wrong? And the next morning he said, what was that? And he said, don't ever tell them, like offer to do anything for them, and don't make anything sound like it's easy. And so it was, like trying to be in those positions with that political agendas going back and forth, where my nature is to just be helpful. And if there's a problem, like, let's just fix it. We don't need to know who, what, when, what, like, here's the problem, like, how do we fix it and move forward? And so that approach was, difficult for me to navigate, but it was my position. And, I personally didn't select my supervisor. And so to learn those things and just learn how to learn their sensitive keywords. And, the political trigger words, and have conversations ahead of time for him to understand what I was going to say, and that it wasn't any kind of threat to whatever he was maintaining.
These questions are related to employee relationships. Describe the experience you have had in a disciplined and or dismissing an employee.
There was an employee there that I had worked, I worked with her as the deputy controller. She was the staff accountant there. And so when I was the controller, like, then she was my employee. And there was a time, we had an office that was in the basement of the building. And she always, she would get hot a lot and make comments about and take to her, like, she would wear a tank top or something, but nobody was ever there. And then we had a thing happen where we had there was a flood downstairs. We had to move upstairs, and when we moved upstairs, there was different times where she was, she's wearing like a spaghetti strap shirt, and had her, and I, asked her that, because it was part of the dress code policy. And, up here it's different. Like, we kind of didn't say anything downstairs, there weren't residents passing by. We had a glass door, and she was right in front, and, explained that it was different upstairs, and that she would have to keep her sweater on, lights, short sleeve sweater, whatever, but it had to be covered. And she refused to do that. And then but had a sweater sitting on the back of her chair. And there had been like a long history of issues before I had worked there that weren't completely addressed. And so we kind of expected it to come up in that way. And it was, I had done a write-up for it. It was an insubordinate write-up, and she was just sent home for the day, and had it written in her file. There was a grievance filed on that, and the union representative came in, but I had intentionally had the conversation with her in front of the cameras in our office. And so the things on the grievance were not true of how that went and stuff. And so they were able to review it, and it was dismissed.
Please tell us how you
This is the worst one.
tell us how you would proceed in developing trust and respect with the department heads and county employees.
I think just being somebody that somebody can count on when they have questions, when they have needs, when things come up, that you're available, that you show that they matter, I think helps to initiate that bond. And then just being consistent builds the trust over time, being consistent and honest.
I think these next ones are related to budget. The vacancy is for an administrator / controller. Describe in detail your experience with budget development, financial management, knowledge of state of Michigan accounting standards, and developing grant proposals.
So I have pretty extensive experience in all of those things. I have managed budgets anywhere from 40 million to 700 million. The $40 million budgets, I've had multiples where I've handled them from start to finish, as far as creation, assisting department heads, all in building their budgets for the year, and presenting them to the council. And I have worked for, in the city of Burton, it's like a 7-day process in the evenings, and it's presented line by line. So I've done it that extensively. And then monitoring, helping, and entering budget adjustments, reporting and audit parts on it, and then starting over. For as far as the guidelines and rules, I am familiar with those, many different sources, some in state law and some from the GASB accounting standards. And then I maintain memberships through the MGFOA and the MMTA for the treasurers, but to stay up to date on changes coming up and changes that are happening.
Can you tell us what you perceive to be the primary duties of a controller?
It's funny that is such a big question. I think the primary duties is the financial oversight, and including internal controls and policies.
Have you had an opportunity to research or look at any of Ogemaw County's past audits?
Some, yes.
What was did you have an opinion?
Um, I, f- I I do not have an opinion.
Do you have an opportunity to look at our budget?
No.
Leadership. These are leadership questions. What are the 3 effective leadership qualities you think are most important?
I think consistency, and being consistent in setting expectations along with following through on expectations. I think that results in that trust thing, but also in fairness. I think communication is the other big one. You have to be understood, and different people understand in different ways, and working with a lot of different people, the communication isn't going to be across the board of how you say things and what types of things you say. It's not my point. I want to say something in a way that's understood by somebody. And so depending on that, can depend on the type and the method of communication. And then the other one is just being an example of a leader, and following things yourself, and being available for training and guiding and learning, and mentoring on top of the oversight.
Do you have any specific examples of how you demonstrated these qualities?
I did have a deputy controller at the city of Burton. She did not have any previous experience. She had a degree in accounting, and that was she worked at Rite Aid before that. And there were a lot of things that throughout her employment where she was amazing. She reminded me a lot of myself. She worked very quickly and efficiently. She was on top of things, and didn't really need a lot of oversight. I could give her projects and she could just pick them up. But there were a lot of things where certain things she would say, like, that's not my job. She was late for work on a regular basis. To 1 week, there was, it was on a Thursday, but she had been late 9 times that week already, because it was coming in the morning and after lunch. And so I started having different conversations with her, and started asking her the questions of, what makes you feel like something isn't your job? Like, can you explain to me, like, the thought process behind that? Because I don't understand it. For me, I don't ever know enough. If somebody wants to teach me how to do something else, like, I would love to learn it. And so how do you get to a point, especially in your first position, that you're like, I'm good. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to learn anything else. Like, where does that come from? And that approach, like, allowed for us to really start talking about those things and understanding. And she turned into a model employee by the time that I had left there.
Please tell us about 1 or 2 of your proudest professional accomplishments.
So I had children very young. I moved a lot. I attended the same school for an entire school year twice throughout my education. And when I got to my sophomore year, we had moved again, and I transferred schools. When I transferred, they said that they couldn't give me credits because they didn't have the same classes, and it was in the middle of a semester. So I had quit high school. I became a mom at 17 and again at 19. And I think that that is my proudest accomplishment, is not only that I raised 4 absolutely amazing humans, but I was still able to come back from that and finish my education, get my degree, attend a master's program long enough to have credits to qualify for a CPA license, and was able to show them that without them giving up things for it.
what are your greatest weaknesses?
I am a little bit of a perfectionist. I have my biggest goal to work on is serenity. to to accept the things I cannot change because I want to make everything better. I want to fix everything, and um, it's um, it's disruptive in life, honestly, because you can't fix everything. And learning that part of it is kind of where I'm at now, where I think I've made some great progress, but still have some left to work on.
Do you have any experience with BSNA? So software wise, what's your experience?
Yes. I have used BSNA for multiple years. At the city of Burton, there was a year where we did not have anybody in our IT department, and my department took over the IT. So I was the enterprise user for BSNA. It required a lot of challenges as far as keeping the internal controls segregated, with me being that person. But I am able to do any of the changes, setups, functions, all of the stuff in BSNA.
So you kind of already hit on this when you told us a little bit about your background, but we had all looked at and discussed your resume. It indicated the multiple moves between government roles since 2023. And you kind of walked us through the reasons for these transitions and what you learned from each opportunity. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just that it's, the first one was, it was not a good experience, and I've tried really hard to find, the role in Tiburon Bennett since then, but, I believe that, and I've actually been told before that I'm most like the person that I am in an interview in real person at work. And, um, to me, that's really important because I don't want to be in a situation where it's not a good fit. And so I try to be very clear and on who I am instead of, what you may want to hear as an answer, so that you can make that determination if I'm a good fit or not. I think that it has been much better in my last two positions, but it wasn't the right fit for me, but it was much closer.
Commissioners, anything you guys would like to give everybody an opportunity to see if there's something I missed?
How does somebody build trust with you?
I think that just I think that people are given trust with me. I think I'm extremely observant, and I don't feel like I have to be defensive against trust. I think that things come up clearly and obviously when there's things that can't be trusted. I've been in positions where I've discovered embezzlement and done a lot of different issues that I have found myself. And the city manager in Greenville said that I should have been a forensic accountant. It's good. I'm good with that with people. And so I don't feel like I have to, that it has to be earned or anything. I think that trust is given. And if things come up, I'm very open to the knowledge of perception can always be misleading on something. I'm an open communicator. And if I have questions about something and, I'm not sure, if I feel like something was not right, I'll ask more on it before I have or entertain any other thoughts on it. I give people opportunities to speak for themselves before I decide something about them. And I think that it's very respected, and it's not always easy to find.
You don't think being, I'm sorry.
No.
You don't think being forensic and trusting right off the start would be a conflict?
Well,
I don't know, it just theoretically.
how do you see those not going together?
Well,
Deb.
I'm a person that just, you got 1,000 points of trust with me right off the bat. No, all you can do is really lose points with me. But I've worked for some people that, no, I had to start from zero and work my way up. And usually the investigative types are those types because they are investigators. They're doing a job because somebody isn't.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense to say investigative, was something that to me, when I say forensic, I just find things or see things naturally. Something just stands out to me. I remember a conversation. It's not really investigative where I'm looking into it or trying to find the things, but saying that, I can see how you would see a conflict on those, but I mean more of
Well,
just,
I was just, no,
just
I'm
that
asking your opinion.
no, I
No
appreciate.
wrong answer.
I appreciate that, cause I'm not necessarily investigative, but I'm very aware.
It stinks.
Yes.
Commissioner, Wiltie,
I'm good.
Would it?
Commissioner Serbrook.
They asked, you were asking about your weaknesses. Everybody's got strengths as well as weaknesses.
Mhm.
Give me your two greatest strengths. What do you think they are?
That I think that I work logical. And I see that as a strength in business. It's not always a strength in my personal life to have, I don't necessarily like think and come forward with emotion. And I don't present that way. Professionally, it's a great asset to have. So just to, and I'm like that. If I say something, I'm honest. They say honest to a fault, and I feel that. I don't believe that there's honesty to a fault, but I do tend to over-explain things sometimes because I want it to be clear. I don't want what I say to be misleading at all. So even just to say, that's my greatest strength. Like I have to break down for you that in my professional life, because it's really not my greatest strength personally. And I would think those two things make it pretty easy to know me and my intentions and to have an understanding in that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mayhew.
When it comes to our meetings, how good are you?
As far as organizing, preparing,
We don't go generally through a meeting. You can ask him that we don't ask and make sure we're doing it right.
Yes, and
Something comes up.
yeah, I have that, control tendency. That goes with kind of what I said that I like, I like everything to be perfect. My first full cycle year as a department head, as a controller, was a city's first ever perfect audit. Things are important to me and for you to make the decisions is a form that I like honor and respect, and will make sure that you have that information because you can't help me if I don't give you what you need. And it will only reflect poorly on me if things are not happening internally.
clerk or treasurer, did you have any specific questions?
Nope. You
No,
just hit what I wanted. to
I
know.
think the questions are very thorough. Thank you.
We appreciate your interest in the position. I guess you have any questions for us?
I do not.
Perfect. I thank you for your time.
Chet is great at questions and being helpful information.
Thank you. and
Thank
for
you so
coming.
much.
Thank you.
All right.
It's nice to meet you all.
You as
I
well.
apologize for staring, but I don't hear good.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I did not notice. Your glasses actually reflect a little. You can't even see. Thank you.
What time is Rochelle's?
7, hopefully she'll be.
6?
6, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I told you I would keep us flowing.
You did, you are doing a
I
great
promised
job.
you.
So we got some time, let's talk about next steps here, since we got a little bit of time. You obviously have 4 candidates today. Afterwards, sometimes it becomes a little awkward to have dialogue about the 4. So what I suggest you do, and it's up to you, but normally it's pass out a 3x5 index card. And this is perfectly legal under Open Meetings Act. You have to put your name on it and put down the name of up to 2 candidates that you like to see move on to the second round. You're not voting. This is just a straw poll. If there's agreement on who to talk about or who to disregard, it helps with the dialogue. If you all agree that one candidate is not worth moving on, there's no sense debating that topic. So it's a straw poll. The clerk and I can combine all the results from 5 of you, see if there's agreement on who to move on to the next level. Does that make sense? And then it's not a vote, it's just to get the dialogue going.
questions for Chad?
That makes sense. Now, tonight, you have the option, if you wish, to pick, I'd say no more than two candidates for the second round.
Pardon me? You'd say what?
No more than two candidates.
Right.
I would strongly urge that you do second rounds. That's more of a dialogue. We talked about that, and I usually strongly urge you do a meet and greet with the employees. Sometimes you pick things up, and the second round is more of a dialogue. You follow up on comments they made the first time, if you have issues, or just ask them more detailed things about the county with research they have done. See if it's the right fit. They may have the right technical skills, but you want the right personality also.
Are you seeing anything that you would like me or us to change, to add to? Okay.
You're moving things along, which is good. Sometimes sometimes 50 minutes is not enough time because you have commissioners doing a lot of talking.
I think you lose interest.
So I compliment you on that. Sometimes I have to remind the commissioners that, you've got 5 minutes left. You're only on a 5th or 6th question.
Well, you're not the only one who reminds.
Oh, I didn't say you. And then you have to decide when you want to do second round. And will you offer travel expenses for second round? Most counties do. They put a cap on it though.
I guess I'm gonna speak up for all of us now as far as second round. I know we definitely want to move forward with that. I would like to have the second round as soon as, like, even at our next meeting. I don't know if you guys are gonna want to take a week to think about this. Like, when do you want these index cards back?
Oh, we'll do it this
right now.
This evening.
Tonight is what?
Yeah. See if there's agreement. If you want to do it tonight, sometimes commissioners want to wait, but if you're ready, we're not talking about who to hire. All we're talking about is who to advance to the next round. So
Absolutely.
don't talk about this as your candidate.
Okay.
Are there 2 candidates you wish to advance? If there aren't 2, then don't pick 2.
Okay,
That makes sense?
Yep.
And we get more dialogue after the interview, but since we have a gap, I thought we did.
well, that's all right. Rochelle,
And
right here,
if you have time, when would you like to do the second round?
Saginaw. I think 2 weeks, our next meeting.
Do you really want that as part of a board meeting, or do you want that as a separate?
It's up to you. I've done it both ways.
Our agenda hasn't been, what do we have on for committee of the whole?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 things.
I mean, I think we need to give whoever we choose, I think we need to give them adequate time also to make travel plans and also to do a little research on our county.
And if you want to do a meet and greet with the staff.
Yeah,
Take some time.
I would like that 2 weeks out, so they have some time and it's fair.
So 2 weeks would be you do it on Thursday again, the 29th? Okay, that's good.
And I actually could move that time up as well. I'm only working a half a day. To make it a little bit more feasible for everybody.
We can work on details, but we can do the meet and greet during the day when the employees are here.
Okay.
And then have the meeting afterwards, so
How long would you want for the meet and greet?
usually 1 hour.
So.
And it's very informal. People can come for 5 minutes. They can come and stay for 50 minutes if they want. Usually the candidates give opening comments and then just dialogue with the staff. Hey, who wants to come? And maybe she's here, so let me take a look.
So. We start at 4 or 3:30.
It doesn't matter to me either, whatever.
Perfect timing.
Yes.
She's here.
Yeah, sure.
You made it.
It was on our.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Rochelle.
Yes.
I'm Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Nice to meet you. Have a seat. Thanks for making the trip. Came from Saginaw?
Yep.
Not too far.
No.
So how we've been doing this, you are our 3rd interview tonight, is each one of the commissioners chose some questions and I've been asking the questions, and then at the end I ask each commissioner if they have a question, and then I ask the candidate if they want to ask us questions.
Okay.
So just so you're aware, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. Graduated from Davenport in 2006. Out of Davenport, I started consulting with Maximus, used to be. So we did governmental cost allocation plans. So we would go into counties around Michigan. I had all of the counties surrounding the water mostly, and the whole UP. Would go in there and determine what the overhead cost was for running different departments. It was mostly for Friends of the Court. We were able to capture federal grants and revenues based on the allocations we came up with. So did that for 5 years. Then they downsized the Bay City office. So was unemployed for a few months and then got the job at Bay County. And I was in their finance department for 10 years, doing pretty much everything. So my main responsibility was the audit. So did that, did most of our grant reporting, found new grants and opportunities. Took over a lot of the day-to-day activities, general ledger, bank reconciliations. We had separate departments for purchasing, but I was the backup for that. We had accounts payable, but I helped support that. So had my hands in a lot of things finance related at the county. And then after 10 years, decided there wasn't a lot of movement upwards, so took the job at the state of Michigan. Worked at home for 9 months, realized that was not for me. Loved the idea of being at home and being with the kids a little bit more. But the work I was doing was actually reviewing audits all day. So all day I would wake up in the morning and then review different local unit audit reports to make sure that they were in compliance with the state regulations and that the auditors were doing what they were supposed to. I don't know if you're envisioning it in your head, but it's super boring. So did that for 9 months, and then the job with the city of Frankenmuth came along. So I took that in 2022 and was doing that in the treasurer capacity. It had been vacant for 6 months, and God bless our city manager. She was trying to make do in the 6 months absence, but things got a little messy. So I came in the middle of June. Our fiscal year end is June 30th. So I had to hit the ground running. So got everything cleaned up. It took a little bit of time. Frankenmuth, wonderful community. But the person I had come in after was there for 40 years. The clerk was there for 30 years. The city manager was there for 40 years. So when I came there, there was policies that weren't in place we were supposed to have in place, and there was things that weren't being reconciled. So there was a lot of stuff that we had to do to get it where it should be. So we did that, and then after about a year, the clerk had left, and which left the assistant city manager position open. So that's just kind of a secondary hat that you wear at the city. So I took that responsibility on about 2.5 years ago. And that's kind of when I got involved in more of the day-to-day operations, human resource management. I am, personally speaking, the mother of 5 amazing children.
Wow.
So I do that in my free time. So that comes along with all sorts of excitement. So that is what I do outside of work. Yeah, and still learning stuff every day.
What interests you about this position?
I think it's the next level up from where I'm at right now. So right now I have a lot of responsibility, but it's kind of more, I give more suggestions and then take it to my boss, and then she kind of runs with it, where I would like more on my shoulders to be able to kind of make some of those decisions and bring the important stuff directly to the people who make the decisions. Because I like starting something and then following through and being able to do it all the way to the end. And sometimes that's hard when you're running, I guess, up different tiers of a ladder.
How does this fit into your long-term goals?
Well, I would hope to find some place where I can use all the skills from the past as well as build in my future. I think there's a lot of things that I still have to learn. Working for the county for 10 years, I'm sure every place is different. Just looking at some of the documents that I could find of Ogemaw County's online, it looks like things are structured a little differently. So I don't find myself at the point in my career where I don't want to keep learning and expanding and growing. So I think that's where I'm at right now. The city's in a really good financial spot. So not that I don't have more work to do there if I stay there, but I think I've come in and made a lot of progress there and would feel okay leaving them in the position that they're in.
What's the most critical responsibility of the county administrator / controller?
For me is making sure that we're able to provide services day in and day out. So I think the heaviest part of my position is always making sure that, you know, we have the resources and the abilities and the staff and everything to be able to give what we need to the people who are paying the taxes and living in the community.
These next questions are related to management style. Time management and balancing multiple priorities are essential skills to be effective in this role. How do you make decisions about how you spend your time and what strategies do you use for balancing multiple priorities?
I'm one of those people who don't like a lot of things up in the air. When responsibilities are given, I tend to like to get things done and off my plate. So as much as I am balancing multiple things, there are always goals and deadlines set, at least in my own head. I'm big at setting deadlines, setting meetings to make sure that the next meeting we're progressing. At home as well, I think my life is all about organization and management of the time and the what we do have, and that goes in my work too, because I understand there's so many hours in a day, so we do what we can and then we put to tomorrow what we can.
Please provide us with your definition of integrity, and in terms of ethics, what standards are you unwilling to compromise in your leadership role?
So to me, it's doing the right thing that you feel at that time. As a management team, we have kind of come up with the theory that we're always going to assume good intention. So sometimes you make mistakes, but if you think what you're doing is right and you have that history, then we're going to think that you're doing the right thing and support you on that. Integrity for me in a financial role has always been key because I need people to trust me with their money. I need our employees to trust me with what they're telling me. And that's really the most important part in my mind of what my job is full transparency. Because I don't think there's ever any secrets in what we do in government.
Board relationships. What would be your approach to establishing and maintaining a good working relationship with the Board of Commissioners?
Understanding what they need. I think everybody looks at things differently. I think everybody has different priorities. I don't think it takes too long to kind of understand what's important to different people based on things that come up throughout the year. We have a council, so it's a little bit different, but the same idea. We're talking in front of 7 people we have at the city, and trying to make it understandable for everybody can be challenging sometimes. But giving everybody different options with the reasons behind those options and making sure that we understand where everybody's coming from. We have business people that, you know, have certain ideas. So I think just establishing that relationship of knowing who everybody is, as well as, again, I think it comes back to trust. I think when we trust each other to make good choices, it just works out best for the relationship.
Are you able to provide any specific examples?
Of
Establish and maintain a good working relationship with your current board.
I set up a budget workshop every year. One of the biggest parts of my job is to make sure that we're okay for the following fiscal year. So we sit down together and we go line by line of what's kind of going on. There's a lot of explanation that goes into it. And I think them seeing what I do every day, what I have to go through, kind of what I analyze, I think it gives them a little bit more faith that I kind of am putting together the right information. I'm understanding what's going on so that I can make the decisions to give that to them to make the right decisions. So I think that time spent together, digging into something together, I think is a big help for our relationship.
Employee relationships. Describe the experience you have had in disciplining and or dismissing an employee. Please tell us about a time when you have had to give feedback to an employee who displayed a lack of professionalism in their duties.
I have not had to terminate any employees. I don't have experience doing that. We do have some issues with some of our managers, and it's more personality conflicts that we have. And there's a lot of suggestions that we've given to them. We work together a lot as a team. So we bring everybody together so that we're not necessarily singling out people, but we're kind of understanding that we all have to work together. We have a lot of great different leadership programs and management programs, and for some of our lower level staff, sometimes it's just listening to them. I'm more straightforward when it comes to management. I don't know if it's because I have 5 kids and I have to be direct, but I guess tiptoeing around things has never really been my thing, because I think it helps as an employee to know when something happens. Also that none of us come without fault, and I tend to maybe over exaggerate when I make a mistake, just so that people know that everybody does that, so that comfort level is there too between employees and myself, because make mistakes and
No, please tell. I'll do this. Please tell us how you would proceed in developing trust and respect with the department heads and county employees.
yeah, so getting to know everybody. I think knowing that each department and what their roles are, what their duties are, their limitations, their staffing is really important to be able to help them and manage them. I think knowing what you're talking about is very helpful when you're trying to manage. So one thing that I really pride myself on is understanding what's actually going on. So when I came to the city, the first thing I did is I sat with our deputy staff and our management to kind of understand the whole flow of things. Because I can't make decisions if I don't know what's going on and I don't understand them. So I think the initial introduction period, that 30, 60 days where you're really understanding everything is crucial on developing those relationships, gaining their trust, understanding what they're doing, and then being able to work together moving forward.
The next questions are related to budget, and you've hit on this touch. This vacancy is for the county administrator / controller position. Describe in detail your experience with budget development, financial management, knowledge of the state of Michigan accounting standards, and developing grant proposals.
Yeah, so that's a big part of my job right now is the budget. At the county, we had a lot more hands-on with each department because they were more segregated. So we had our health department that came up with kind of their own budget. We kind of gave them a guideline, but we didn't really know what was coming up. So it's a lot of interacting and working together and a lot of collaboration. But I am an accountant at heart. So both at home and at work, I treat finances the same, where we do everything that we need, and that's in one bucket. And then the wants is kind of in another bucket. And we've made a lot of strides. I'm very proud of the work that I've been able to do at the city. There's been a lot of new things that we can look at when you budget, different opportunities that are out there. I know everything there is kind of currently about accounting standards, having put together the audit for 10 years at the county. And then since I've come to the city, it's just expected. So I'm always up to date on what we have to do versus, some optional requirements. So yeah.
Please tell us what you perceive to be the primary duties of a controller and how you would balance those responsibilities with administrator duties.
Sometimes it's a detriment because in my mind, when I'm thinking of everything, it kind of comes to a dollar and a cent. So I always joke that, the departments have the ideas and then I always kind of come behind and tell them if they can or can't do it or try to make it happen. Because when somebody says something's broke, every dollar signs come up in my head. But I think the administrator needs to be able to come up and make sure that things are moving forward. And then the controller needs to make sure that they have the ability to do so financially speaking. So I think it's just that balance of being able to manage the departments and make sure that we're doing what we can in all different departments, and then financially being able to not just offer suggestions, but then be able to follow through and make sure that we can make that happen.
Have you researched, have you had an opportunity to research any of Ogemaw County's past audits?
I have.
Opinion?
That alone makes me a little nervous. The first thing that jumped out at my mind was general fund balance. Also some of the findings that have been over the last couple of years. I walked into the same kind of things, so it's unfortunately sometimes in accounting, when it comes to policies and procedures, you deal with different issues and different problems than you do when it comes to the finances, money not being there. So it looks like the challenges might be in multiple facets here. So I kind of see what's going on a little bit as much as, would be in an audit report, but yeah,
I appreciate how you safely answered that question. Leadership. What are the three effective leadership qualities you think are most important?
knowledge. I think people have to trust that you know what you're doing. I also think trust is huge. To be able to have a relationship with anybody, that's key. I find myself to be very trustworthy. I guess I pride myself in being able to trust other people as well until they prove me otherwise. And then I think just a common respect. So not just as employees, but as human beings. I mean, I think most people are really good. And I think just taking people for that first, and then, if you have a personal relationship with somebody, I think that goes a really long way, of being able to understand why they made that decision that day or what's going on, especially when it comes to human resources or other management. There's usually a lot of other stuff going on than what you see right in front of you. And that goes for me too.
Can you tell us one or two of your proudest professional accomplishments?
Recently, I just made it as one of the board of directors for the MGFOA, which is one of the 7 people in the state of Michigan so I get to serve on the board for Michigan Government Finance Officers Association.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's been a great opportunity. I just started back in the fall, and we get to kind of implement new things. So it's been great kind of taking on that role, and being a behind the scenes kind of person when it comes to that. Also, when I got with the county, it had been many years because there's turnover, but was able to participate, I think after my 3rd year, in the GFOA award for financial reporting. So there's additional requirements that go along with it. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever participated, but it's an additional step beyond your audit. You compile a lot more financial information. There's more background. There's a lot of statistics, but it goes in and it's submitted. And as long as it passes the requirements, you're up for an award that the county receives, and can be proud of. It's a lot of information that are really great for residents if they like that kind of stuff, but it gives histories and trends. And I did that then for the next 7 years when I was at the county, and it felt good to get them in that position to be able to continue that after I left.
What type of challenges do you enjoy tackling?
I'm a numbers person, so love going in. Haven't found an entry that I couldn't balance. Haven't found a budget that I couldn't make work. So my challenges is this is what it is, and what can we do with it? And sometimes the challenge is waiting. I'm not a very patient person, so I want things to be fixed right away. And I know some things take time. So just being able to find solutions for things is something I really enjoy.
2 of your strengths.
I think my knowledge of all things accounting. I've just been doing it for a long time, and I've been doing it in all different areas, between the external consultant and then the county, the state for a short period of time, and now the city. There isn't too much that I haven't had some kind of interaction with in some way. So that's probably number one. And number two is super laid back. So not a lot of things bother me. Somebody can tell me a crisis and I tend to be really under control. Again, I don't know if that goes back to having 5 kids, 3 of them are boys, and I just,
That's the easiest.
on the negative side is I don't tend to get very emotional about things, so it's more just business, so. good,
That was
bad,
my
or otherwise.
next question, weaknesses.
So I don't consider myself to be very empathetic, which is something that I've been working on. So as much as I want to find a solution, sometimes I'm not that person that's going to cry with you, but I'm going to try to find out how to make you stop crying. So, I mean, so I think that's the biggest part of something that I need to learn as an HR point. There's myself, and then we hired somebody new last year, and that's when people are having a really rough day and just need somebody to vent to, they tend to wander into her office. Just they tend to get a little bit more feedback and sympathy from my other counterpart.
Software, I'm sure, but BSNA, you have that experience, yeah. Figured that. Questions, did I miss anything, commissioners? Commissioner Scott, what did you want to add?
Well, I didn't think the 3 boys are such a asshole. I would have thought the 2 girls would have been a hawk or a ass. I only had 1. That was bad enough. You said like you're an impatient person. Is that a weakness to you?
Can be.
Can be. Yeah.
Yep, I've been known to, when something comes up, to try to tackle it. Right, I want to do it now.
Fire out.
Yes. And I'm learning, because it's a weakness that I know that I have, is to try to be more thoughtful about solving a problem. So maybe it's involving more people, or maybe it's putting it on the back burner until there can be something else. But that is one thing where I like to, if somebody comes in and has an issue, I want to be able to resolve that now, because my fear in my head is if I don't fix it right now, it's not going to get fixed. And that's,
So the different levels of management, the red, the yellow, the blue, you probably tend to think you're more red than that.
probably.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
How does somebody build trust with you? How does somebody build trust with you?
I think being able to rely on somebody, I think seeing them make decisions. I'm really big at trying to have people be independent thinkers. So when they come up with good ideas, I think a big part of that is trusting that they're making the right calls, especially if it's something that's not in my lane. So if I have somebody that comes up to me and says, I really think that we need to buy a new generator instead of keep fixing this old one, but it's going to be this much capital expenses. Is there a way that we can make that work? And
that didn't work right, but we meet. How much trust do you have in me right off the start, right now?
I would say I trust that you're telling me the right stuff right now, until I find out that you have all lied to me in this room and things are, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I do trust that. I know people in your positions don't make a lot of money, so you have to want to do these things, and you are all probably here doing them for the right reasons. So our city council members make $5 a meeting. At most, if they're at every meeting, we cut them a check for $60 at the end of the year. I trust that they're there because they are trying to make the community a better place. And even though I'm a paid position, I hope that through my work that I am allowing them to trust me as well.
Commissioner Wiltie?
One thing, so earlier in the interview, you had stated that you're at a point now where you're ready for that next level. Do you see like this type of position, county administrator controller being that maximum level of really career wise where you kind of years ago said, where, you know, what do I ultimately want to get to? Is that it?
So my career has kind of taken me in this different path than I was anticipating. So when I worked at the county, my goal there was to be the finance officer because I was an accountant there. And the finance officer kind of was rotating through, but Bay County was unique. We have an executive, so there's not an administrator position there. And the executive is an elected position, so it was kind of different. Like that wasn't, I'm not a politician. And so the finance officer sounded really good. And then when I left the county, that position came back up. And at that point, I think I had already started working for Frankenmuth and then started working directly under our city manager, who has kind of mentored me into a lot of different leadership roles. So I've taken leadership classes and did some different things to be able to strengthen that part. And so for me, there's different opportunities, right? I would consider this to be the kind of the same level as a city manager or something along township supervisor. So somebody that is able to report directly to the board and kind of has that authority to make sure everything is flowing right underneath them.
Commissioner Mayhew, any questions?
Yeah, I do. Did you do any studying on us?
Just financially speaking, I did look back at some minutes that you had posted online just to kind of get a feel for different things that were going on. And then, of course, my draw is always to the finances because that's just what I understand. And so the same report, all of them are kind of laid out the same. So I understand kind of where those are coming from. And my biggest thing, right, is to make sure that you guys are set up for the future so that my position is gonna
Last
be
year, we were
funded.
pretty low on the county list. You know that.
Fires funding.
Yes. Surprised you guys made it through a couple years
Oh,
ago.
it's gonna be a challenge, keeping us where we're at. We got nothing else to get rid of.
So, at the city, we kind of came in and they were okay. We have a policy where we have to have 3.5 months, expenditures in our general fund. I think you guys are about 2 weeks of reserves in your general fund. So that would be probably my main priority is making sure that that's increases somehow. And I know it looks like there's been different things that the county has been working on, trying to move in some transfers and such. So that's my biggest thing, because I think for employees morale, to make sure that benefits can stay the same, that pay increase can happen, you have to make sure you have the money available. And, you know, from an HR standpoint, I think it makes everybody, at least for me, go home and sleep good at night, knowing that things are in a good spot. So. that-
Commissioner Serbrook.
I don't really have a question, but I have a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Number one, I think you'll be very happy to see when our audit report for this year comes out. Looks very, very good. We're gonna be about $2 million fund balance when it comes out. So I think you'll be happy to know that we have gone in the right direction.
Okay.
And we want to continue to go in that direction. And I'm sure that when it came to, I've been sitting here watching our county treasurer, and she is just eating up everything you're saying. She loves it right now, so.
I mean, from a controller standpoint, it sounds like you definitely have the experience and the knowledge. Now, from an administrator standpoint, I guess I want to hear a little bit about that as far as like preparing us for these meetings. And what you had mentioned of what you walked into was very similar to what a lot of the elected officials walked into. So we're still updating policies, procedures, the personnel committee manual. There's still lots of things that we are currently working on. Are you comfortable in the administrator? Maybe it sounds like the controller 100%, but from an administrator standpoint, along with helping us get ready for these meetings, preparing us, keeping us out of trouble. Sometimes we forget the rules and regulations.
So, my number one thing when I came to the city is I just want to make sure that nobody's in the news. So, and I think that goes with a lot of things, right? Like, Right, exactly. So making sure that we're doing everything correctly is huge. And my city manager has been great at showing me what that looks like. So she spends a lot of time preparing for meetings, and a lot of times I'm involved in that. And that means when things are brought to you guys for decisions, that I'm not just asking you to approve this resolution, but I'm giving you this background story. And to be able to give you the story, I need to know what's going on, because I don't know if a lot of the department heads participate in the meetings, or if the administrator comes as that role of being able to explain things, but I think that's huge. So you guys understand what decisions you're making, and have all of that best information. As well as, yeah, being able to walk through a meeting. I think that was one of the first things I had told my boss when wanting to understand more about her position, because she runs the meetings. We have, obviously, our mayor is the one that does everything, but if there's changes to the agenda, that we make sure that we have that information prepared, that we make sure that we're publishing everything that we're supposed to, and that things are being compliant with all the regulations that we have. So that's a lot of administrative stuff. Again, I'm pretty organized when it comes to that. So looking back and saying, okay, what do we do every year at this time of year to make sure that everything's going as it should, and that you guys are given, because missing deadlines, some of that stuff can be very frustrating when it's easily avoided. So
Clerk or treasurer, either of you have anything? I appreciate your time. I
really do have 2 million. I already have the estimate from the auditors. It's slightly higher than 2 million. We are in a much better financial position than that last audit you saw.
okay.
You came into Frankenmuth into an environment of high seniority positions.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to hear, this is the way we've always done it.
That was the number one thing. So when I came in, I tend to be maybe overly so a rule follower. So I want to make sure I'm following the rules, but I need to make sure the rules are there for everybody else to follow as well. So policies and procedures came pretty quickly after I started, because I need to make sure that everybody knows what the rules are as far as purchasing or travel. I see some of your policies are out there on your website. I think one of them was from 2000. So some of them change over time. And just to make sure you're up to date on that. And so I think establishing those rules is, I know sometimes it can be challenging for employees to adjust, but they do over time.
Any questions for us?
So I see the last person resigned.
Correct. He was in the position. It was a brand new position. He was the first one in that position. We started with an administrator, and after approximately 2 or 3 years, we advanced into administrator / controller.
Okay.
He was here 5 years, and he took a different position in a different county, a little bit larger. Yeah, so
And then you have an interim that are just kind of filling in for those.
Avian.
Okay, excellent. Your picture looks familiar now that I see it. Okay, so it's not going undone. So you're filling in and doing all of the.
Correct.
Okay.
He's keeping us at bay
Okay.
and doing a very good job. Yes, he's putting out fires where they need to be put out, and just, yes.
He's got the experience. How many
Yes.
years did you have? 35?
31 years.
31.
Yes.
County administrator based in Colorado.
Okay. Yes, I think I did.
So he keeps us on the straight and narrow.
Okay.
I see a nice audit.
He's not bragging.
He's a numbers guy too. He's a PA.
Yeah, so probably your jam too, but, so as far as the environment, is this position maybe asking you, are they gonna be open then to having somebody new? Like, was it?
I believe so. I mean, there was a lot of resistance initially for the initial uncertainty, I guess is a better term.
Okay.
But no, I think everybody was very, likes this position, somebody in this position, a go-to person that's there for the day-to-day operations. We, obviously are not. I think from everything I'm hearing, they're looking forward to an individual filling this position. So, and then the next step would be a meet and greet where, the parties, are able to come and meet the department heads and have conversation and elected officials.
Okay.
So you guys can speak to that. Are you guys excited for someone to fill this position?
I'll tell you this, I was a county employee for over 35. This is the best thing that ever happened in this county,
Was it county
was
administrator?
having a county administrator.
Yes.
I mean, it's, finally, there's somebody we can go to, gives us direction and takes us in the direction that we need to go in.
So who had done that role then prior, all of the?
Mostly it was the county
Clerk.
clerk.
Yes.
He kind of wore a
Serving as
Tool
a
head.
coordinator.
yeah,
Coordinator was the term.
yeah, he was the
yes.
county coordinator, he gave him a stipend for that, but
And a lot of the scenario you initially talked about, what you walked into was a lot of what was happening here. A lot of longevity, a lot of comfort,
Mhm.
a lot of outdates. So, these elected official departments have made leaps and bounds and came a long way. So,
our
And I think we have to as a
elected
board.
officials are fairly new, where before you had a clerk that had been here for 30+ years. Treasurer that had been here for 15+, I think. A sheriff that had been in there for,
a lot of change that
20.
happened for the good,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
But any other questions for us?
No, so you're doing all of the work now, so what does that look like for time frame where you guys are looking?
So we were just talking about actually, because we're a little ahead of schedule, is with the next process, we're looking at bringing individual candidates back about 2 weeks from now, and then hopefully making a decision from then and whatever they have to give as far as a notice to their current employees. I mean, we have to be respectful, obviously. But we are looking to move this along fairly aggressively.
And then the audit sounds like it's done, so that should be not something we're walking into.
Karen?
Yes. So I just had journal entries, adjusting journal entries that we received. They still have a few more to wrap up.
Okay.
They'll hopefully have to us next week. They gave me the preliminary figures for the fund balance, which again is slightly higher than 2 million. So things are looking very positive financially for the county. They have not given me the deadline that they will get us our actual audit draft yet, but I presume that will be coming within the next couple of weeks.
We went with a new audit firm this year. We've been with one for quite some time. So it's gonna be new. And see how it goes.
We did that after my first year, and that was, it was a long time coming. We had the same auditor and everything was just kind of updated. Nothing new happened. It was just new numbers were filling in the old numbers, and then we had Raymond come in, and it was
Raymond?
mhm,
They did it.
yeah, it was a lot of prior period adjustments that happened, but
Yes, I'm seeing that as well. A lot of cleanup of things that have been overlooked for many years.
yes.
So it's good. It's gonna be, it's good. It's gonna be refreshing, and like Jenny said, we've had a lot of changes and those changes are continuing and all for the good.
to make them positive.
Absolutely.
Then really easy to update next year.
Driving for Saginaw is no issue.
No, I used to live out in Marion Springs and then worked in Bay City, so it was an hour and 15 minutes one way, and that was all country roads, so
Yep.
this one was I-75 straight up, so.
That's the only deal.
Yeah, I've always wanted to work and live in the same community, it's never worked out that way for me, but.
Hey.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Sure, I called them, asked them early.
Oh, perfect.
Break or you want to break?
Yeah, you guys want a break? Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
No, I'm gonna stay. This is very entertaining.
Hey, I might have lied.
That's okay.
I'm so happy.
Well, that's okay. Aim for the moon to hit the fence. Yes, sir.
I know how big some was, but I worked, I didn't go back.
Did they have one on the Zoom before I got here? Which one?
That city manager.
Florida.
40 years.
I know we didn't pick it. Did they? It must have been seven. Seven on that page.
Right. But man.
Cause the girls should have been.
How you doing?
How are you?
Six and seven.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad today.
Today?
Today, so
Well,
far.
It's only 18 degrees out right now.
Well, it's 4 below this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have remote start.
I got it, but it doesn't work half the time. Well, I understand that,
I gotta
the
drop it
food
off.
latch is connected to it.
Tom or somebody go to Tom.
And I don't bother, I go out and start it. Gives me a chance to scrape the windows.
Yeah,
I just scrape the windows on my wife's car.
I'm not bad on memory.
There you go.
That's what I go with.
Well, I was really hoping to park in the garage.
I'm not very much into
all
electronics, but I
all
remember.
winter, but I
And
think
when
that
the line
is done
goes,
a
I'm
month
in
ago
trouble.
and I got a park out in front, so it's
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
So what district has got the far east end of the county?
East,
Yeah.
that would be Jenny right here, our chair.
Oh,
Right
okay.
here. She's out M55 east.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you acquainted with that area?
Oh, yeah, I've been coming, I learned to drive here, I was driving tractors down M55 at 12 years old,
Okay,
and there's a dairy farm out there, a family dairy farm that I used to work on.
which one?
Goods.
This is Jenny.
Jenny, hi.
She lives right on 55.
Oh, hey, Jeff Thornton. You
So,
don't happen to know any of the Goods that live there by Logan Township Hall, do you?
Yes, they're my neighbors.
Oh,
yeah,
goodness
that's right
gracious.
there.
I used to work on their dairy farm, they're,
She personally knows the supervisor at Logan Township.
It's my mom.
Yeah, I worked on their dairy farm up until college.
Okay.
So I spent summers there.
So you're from around here?
No. The Goods and my family started out in Flint.
Oh.
All the kids were born in Flint, about 4 houses down from me. And then we all lived in Flint at the same time. And they came north and we stayed in contact. And I used to spend summers up there.
Which farm was that?
There's one right by Logan Township Hall.
They sold the corner of their property to Logan Township for the hall to be built.
Oh.
Yeah, they're right in that creek. I can't think of the name of the creek.
That creek there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. it.
They're really good people.
Yeah.
2 of them are nurses. Yep. I know Jody and
So Becky.
Becky, yep.
And she married Milton and, yeah, so yeah, so I learned to water ski on Sage Lake and Hardwood Lake and it worked out. good.
You're Jeff. Come on up here and sit.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Yeah, don't worry about the wire up here.
Thanks for making the trip.
Hey, no problem.
As soon as we get everybody else gathered up, we're gonna roll here.
Hey, all right,
We are running pretty smooth.
good. Oh, yeah. And then when I was in training for Kmart to be a district manager, the store up here in West Branch was in my district. So I used to make a lot of trips up here too.
Yeah. Oh, Denny's worked in Kmart, haven't you?
McLaren?
Yeah. my
No.
doctor-
Yeah.
My doctor back there in Forty Goods.
Are we back, guys? We rolling here?
He doesn't go too far.
I don't have a gavel.
Oh, she.
The gavel.
There.
Come on back, guys.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, no.
are you okay?
Yeah. He's ordering dinner.
No, not her.
I didn't call
I'm gonna tell you, all the years I've been coming up here, I've never been in the Green Turtle Bar.
It's now a dental.
I see that.
I've been in it.
So I celebrated my 21st birthday
Did you?
long time ago
Oh, yeah.
with my grandparents, actually, and my parents.
Actually, I spent mine at Kenyon's on Sage Lake.
That's for sale.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
On Sundays, they used to have the pig in the ground, cook the pig in the
Oh,
ground. Yeah.
Do you come from Caledonia?
Yep,
Where's that?
it is just outside of Grand Rapids, southeast. Just-
You made a trip.
You're worth it.
Correct.
Now we're at
So how we been doing this, I guess, is,
1 to 50,
I'll wait for them.
131 to 55?
No, I usually do, that's my normal thing, because I have a place in Ossining up by Alpena. So that's my normal trip. And I thought, well, I'm gonna break it up a little bit. So I came up 127 and, came up that way and came across Holton Lake.
We race snowmobiles in Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Best place to race snowmobiles in the entire country.
Really?
Yeah. It's a giant bowl. We have 500, 600 cars. You sit right in your.
Yeah,
car and watch
I've
it.
been there, yeah. I didn't realize it was that big and that popular though. Oh, wow, I knew there was a lot of people there. Just go for the crashes.
Right, right. So I'll just tell you how we've been doing this
Sure.
is you're a final out of 4 candidates to interview. I'm gonna wait before I start asking questions for Commissioner Serbrook to get back, but each one of the commissioners picked out some questions that, I'm gonna go ahead and ask, and then at the end, I will ask them if they would like to ask you something specific, and then you get the opportunity to ask us questions. So,
Awesome,
yes, I wanna wait for Commissioner Serbrook.
no problem.
How long a drive was it?
About 3 hours. I made a couple stops. Like I said, you're worth it.
Why did it get you everywhere?
You think so?
Most places.
I'll let him say that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you're okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, I've been in government for about 25 years now. I was born in Flint, grew up in Corona, Michigan, near Owasso. And like I was telling some of you, I've been coming up here spent almost every summer up here until college. And then I worked on a family dairy farm on the far east end and learned some great values and ethics on that farm. Going to college, I had a big corporation dangle a big carrot in front of my face. Kid, 3 years out of high school, and Kmart Corporation, they offered me a big dollar. So I jumped out of college and went to work for the big corporation. And I clawed my way up the corporate ladder. I was became an auto service. While at college, I was a part-time mechanic. I got promoted to manager while I was still in college, and they wanted to make me a district manager, made me a regional manager. I ended up at headquarters somehow. And so I saw the demise of Kmart coming, but they taught me a lot of great things. A lot of business things that led me to going into business for myself with a printing and publishing company. And that's where I met my wife. Well, there's the question you can't ask me, but I'll offer. I'm first and only wife, going on 30 years. And I have a 16-year-old daughter who drives, and she's a 16-year-old teenage daughter. So some of you know what I mean. But I went from Kmart Corporation, from the corporate life into the public sector. Went to work for a 911 center. Went to work for Eaton County in their 911 center, and did some work out in Arizona as an appraiser. I learned a lot about residential appraisal and commercial appraisals. And then things didn't work out in Arizona, and things didn't work out in Michigan. Couldn't sell my house. The economy was, bad. So I got a job with Eaton County. Then I got a job with the airport, Wausau Community Airport. So I have airport experience. I was airport manager and director and secretary of their board for a number of years. Then I went on to county government. I was the Alpena County coordinator. And I was there until the position, not just my position, you can Google Alpena News, several positions were eliminated due to the Granholm administration budget cuts. They took away revenue sharing. If you remember that, she took it away completely for a number of years. So everybody was working on the reserves and we were running out of money in Alpena. So the position was eliminated. And it was later reinstated, and I'll go into that, but went from county work to city work, the city of Negaunee, up in the UP. You really have to love trees. It's a lot of driving and a lot of trees, but that was wonderful work. I really liked my work with the city. I worked with municipalities, and going back with County of Alpena, not under me was the airport. Anything that wasn't an elected position was me. Animal control was mine, 911, and actually, while people were moving on in their careers, I was having to fill in. So I filled in as the 911 director in Alpena for 4 months and as emergency manager for 4 months, and other positions. I even drove the animal control truck on occasion. You gotta do what you gotta do, wear many hats. Went on to Negaunee, and that was up in the UP. It was interesting. It's very interesting. It's a different way of life up there. And it was wonderful because we had a full service DPW. Not only did we have the DPW where we took care of the streets and roads and all of our buildings, and we had, like 14 parks. It was really crazy. We had a huge park that was former mine site. A lot of the mining companies donated land to Ishpeming and Negaunee and different places like that. But we were our own electric utility. So I was the utility director, the street director, and then we were also the water sewer, of course, but also we owned our own cable TV service. So we had a lot of things going on there. I left Negaunee under threat. He had some newly elected officials that sent me threats that I still have somewhere in an envelope today and somewhere on my phone. And at about that time was when my mother had a heart attack and my family wasn't stepping up. So there's just a timing of things. So I took a period of time off to help out my family. And subsequently, I lost both my mother and father within 6 months of each other. And from there, I went on to Caledonia. After I took care of their stuff, I got into Caledonia, and it's a small village. It's a bedroom community outside of Grand Rapids. Really convenient. A lot of big things going on in Grand Rapids. I mean, look, we were the first ones to have the first George Floyd riots. That was the first place where people marched on streets and activated emergency management and all that. But some of the challenges there got through the COVID. We did not miss a beat during COVID. We got our team together. I did not have an employee that asked to be off during COVID. And honestly, some of my employees could have made more money on unemployment during COVID. But all of my employees worked, and we didn't miss a beat. We weren't closed a day, and that was at because we had a great team together there. While at Caledonia, I beat cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I beat cancer. And I think I'm totally it happened to be during COVID. And I think I missed a total of 4 days off due to surgery, or maybe a week, but due to surgery. But I wasn't going to let it get me down. I'm pretty bullheaded. But
Sorry. Go ahead.
So
How does this fit into your long-term goals?
that's what I've been thinking about. What are my long-term goals? Because I'm going to tell you what, working in government right now for a lot of people, it's pretty tough and pretty crappy in some environments. And if you check the news of what's going on statewide and around the country, it's gotten pretty crazy. But I think there needs to be some stability. And I think staying in government with my experiences and things I've been through, and helping others manage it and get through it, and help keep teams together. Is my time up?
No, that's just televideo.
Oh, okay.
The next question is management style. Time management and balancing multiple priorities are essential skills to be effective in this role. How do you make decisions about how you spend your time and what strategies do you use for balancing multiple priorities?
Well, part of my background I was an EMT and I worked ambulance and I learned how to triage. And that's the thing, you go in and you triage things, you learn how to prioritize and put things in order. It's the have to do and want to do and if I've got time type of thing. But even though you're doing that, triaging all the time, you got to keep the communications going too. Because, you talk to somebody, say, hey, I'll work on that, I'll work on that. Well, if they're triaging, if things more important keep coming in, you want to let them know, hey, I didn't forget about you, I'm going to get to you. Because people sometimes forget when the pressure gets on, like COVID or something like that, or emergency situations. So I do a trauma situation and do triaging situation. And managing the time, it's tough because part of my downfalls are I'm too critical on myself and I'm a workaholic. And I probably haven't given my family the amount of time they've been due over my career. It's because I have a tendency to put my career ahead of a lot of things. Like I said, I am a workaholic, but I'm trying to find a good balance to that. And it's something I'm working on.
Please provide us with your definition of integrity, and in terms of ethics, what standards are you unwilling to compromise in your leadership role?
I'll tell you, it's changed over the years. Where I was at the beginning of my career and where I am now, it's changed a lot. I've learned a lot, and it has taught me a lot about ethics. Because I'm going to tell you, in the beginning of my political or my bureaucratic career, I was working for some politicians do things politicians want to do, and I have to follow what they want to do. Some of the ethics that, like I said, in Nagani, if you Google the two council people that got on the council at that time of me leaving, if you Google them, you will find that they were later taken to court by the city and lost. There were some big things going on there. And I've learned that ethics are huge, and it's respect. Integrity is huge. I thought I learned a lot in Boy Scouts, but you know what? I've learned a lot more working in government.
That's fair. Board relationships, what would be your approach to establish and maintaining a good working relationship with the Board of Commissioners?
Oh, I keep an open door policy and I keep open communication policy, but that's not just with the board, that's all department heads too. And one thing I like to do is I like to do group emails. You can't do online meetings, but like if somebody comes up and says, hey, Jeff, what's going on here? You got a question, maybe everybody else is asking a question, I haven't talked about it, so I may send out a group email that says, hey, commissioners, so-and-so was in, or I may not say they were in, and just say, hey, just a heads up, this is what's going on. You heard rumors, because there's always rumors going around about employees or things going on, and you gotta, keep on top of those things and keep those things under control. And, when the media is so desperate for news items, you gotta keep on top of those things too.
Employee relationships, describe the experience you've had in disciplining and or dismissing an employee. Please tell us about a time when you had to give feedback to an employee disciplined a lack of professionalism on their duties.
I've had to terminate employment of several employees. I had a embezzlement. I had a police department official that was committing theft. But when you get the facts together, because you gotta remember there's two sides to every story. So I called in outside people. I called in the state police to do investigations on several of those positions. I don't want my sheriff's department doing that. I don't want them to feel pressured by that. So I call in the state police and they're more than happy to do investigations on potential theft. One was within probate court, one was within family court, another one was in the police department, ironically. And I tell you, when the facts get together and you sit down with a sergeant, a detective with state police, and they lay it out for you, it's pretty easy.
You know, but I've also had employees who weren't stellar employees where I had to coach them to become better employees. And that's what you do is if you have an employee that is not meeting par, you get together with them and say, hey, is something going on? Because sometimes things are going on in people's lives. And you got to find out, why are you deficient? Do I need to get you more training? Can we send you for more training? What can we do to help you improve? And you want to give them every chance you can if you have that ability. Sometimes emotional situations or personal situations get so bad that it affects the work too much, and you just have to keep yourself open and explain and keep communicating with that employee, you know, and say, hey, let's meet next week, let's meet in 2 weeks, let's put together a performance improvement plan, a PIP plan, and, you know, let's have another review monthly, weekly, or whatever it takes. Because we want everybody to be successful, and we want everybody in the team up and running to keep the team going, because you don't want to have a couple people failing and a couple people having to work much harder to cover their weaknesses. But that's part of being a team, but you can't let go on too long.
Please tell us how you would proceed in developing trust and respect with the department heads and the county employees.
Being open and approachable, being friendly, and bringing food. You laugh, I'm gonna tell you, potlucks are incredible. And I like to invite the commissioners in to have potlucks. If it's you know, the third Friday of every month is potluck day, you know, invite the commissioners in, because they need to be around you folks too, and you see them. And you know, there's several layers, because, you know, the clerk is in charge of her office and ultimately in charge of her employees, but you get to meet people too. And it's not just your, I call them silos. They are silos. The clerk has their silo, the treasurer has silo, register of deeds. But, you know, you can all get along. We're all here to be successful and provide services for the public.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Budget related. The vacancy is for the administrator/controller position. Describe in detail your experience with budget development, financial management, knowledge of the state of Michigan accounting standards, and developing grant proposals.
I have knowledge in all of them. I've been doing budgets for 17 years. In 17 budgets I created, I never had to write a deficit elimination plan for a budget that I created. When I went to Nagani, I went in, and the previous year I had to write a deficit elimination plan for that, but I didn't create that budget. Creating budgets, and it was interesting because in Alpena County, the county actually owned the hospital. And so we dealt with some big budgets and union negotiations. And that's the thing, I was very involved. I led union negotiations in Alpena and Nagani, and in Caledonia that's non-union. But it's budgets and developing them and dealing with the audits. I'm the one that signed all the audit reports with the auditor, and I have big experience with that. And I feel I've been very successful. No deficit elimination plans for me. And also I grew fund balances. I call myself frugal. My wife calls me cheap. You know, but that's the way I am. And but I will do whatever you folks want to do.
Please tell us what you perceive to be the primary duties of a controller and how you would balance those responsibilities with administrator duties.
Oh, controller, they're intertwined. I mean, you've got to, if I have plans to do something like, hey, we really need to rehab the jail, you know, as the controller, how can we start funding that? Can we do bonds? What can we do? Can we do, what will it take to do that? What's our general fund balance? Where are our investments? You know, and if we've got bills coming through, you know, we've got some, excuse me, insurance bills don't come in regularly. A lot of them don't come in monthly. A lot of the premiums come in annually, and you got to lay those out. And so sometimes it's better wearing the same hat, because, oh, treasurer, I forgot to tell you that we're going to have a big insurance bill due. So if you have any bonds that we need to cash in the meantime to give us some cash, and that's where you got to talk to the treasurer and find out what revenues are coming in. And as far as the state, I'll tell you, it's up in the air. Do you folks listen to podcast 83? Yeah. And you hear what's going on with the money that, you know, we're supposed to be getting some money in February, June, and what I hear, normally the one payment is usually 3, the first payment's not coming. It's gonna be what? May, August, and October, I think they said. But yeah, it's up in the air, 'cause there's a lot of money that could be coming that we don't know what's happening. Too many lawsuits right now.
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty, you're right.
Have you researched Ogemaw County's past audits? Have you
Yes.
kept- Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, audits, they, they, I've seen audits where there's, as far as there's no deficit, I mean, there's no glaring things. Financially, you look good, and that's what the audit says. You have not had any special things with your audit, but you have the normal, the bad things, it's
Findings?
pardon me?
Findings?
Yeah, the findings, yeah, there you go, I'm sorry. The findings, is there enough checks and balances? Did you do the audit, or, the auditor had to put most of the information together? That normal stuff happens in every audit. And sometimes people look at those findings and they get all worried about, well, it's the same findings usually year after year after year. But I didn't see anything glaring in what I was able to pull out. But I skimmed them and perused some of the funds and fund balances and the outstanding debts. Financially, it looks good.
Leadership. These are questions that are related to leadership. What are the 3 effective leadership qualities you think are most important?
Open communications, honesty. God, if I only have a third one, there's so many that I can name, but what's my top 3? Compassion. You got to have compassion for people. It's because when employees it's a bad day, somebody just got yelled at, treasurer's staff got screamed at by somebody because tax foreclosure. There's a lot of things that can happen. So you got to have understanding for these people. The employees in the treasurer's office are co-employers of yourselves and the treasurer, and the clerks is the same, co-employer of yourselves, but she runs them, you pay them. But it's a co-employment thing, and you gotta be understanding of people. Right now in the court system, I tell you, around Grand Rapids, they're begging for people to work in the courts because it is so miserable. And you wanna make sure that, people that have the sucky jobs have some reassurance that there's some understanding, and, they have some people to fall back on and talk to.
Please tell us about 1 or 2 of your proudest professional accomplishments.
Resurrecting a failed, when I started in Nagani, the USDA had just pulled the plug on a much needed sewer improvement program. And I was able to meet with the USDA and convince them not to give up on us, and they did not. And we did the program, finished the project under time, ahead of time, and we held to our budget. And that was fantastic. And that was a planning job that was a project manager job that I was given. And I really enjoyed that. Another proud thing was going back to the COVID. Our staff, the commitment from our staff, we had such a team built there that they were committed, and we were successful. And we provided services to all the citizens and answered call for service. Those are great, proud moments. I mean, I've gotten some certificates from governors for projects in Alpena. I had the IT guy came to us and he said, we need to do something because before you got here, we lost all of our internet in town. I said, why is that? They said, a beaver chewed through the fiber out along M65. And I'm like, so we worked on getting another run of fiber. We did a ring around Alpena, and the project, I received the award, but it was due to a lot of people, the college, the hospital, the county, and it was just a wonderful thing. And those accomplishments are great, but it's accomplishments of the team. I couldn't have done it without my team. I couldn't have done it unless Brad brought that need to us because of a beaver. And so my accomplishments are, great teams, great successes, from those teams.
Software experience.
I haven't used BSNA in a while. I don't know if you're on BSNA. Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't used it in a while, so I'll need some refresher on that. Microsoft products, I'm Microsoft certified on a couple of products. But BSNA, and I've used other programs, financial programs, but just getting reacquainted with BSNA shouldn't be a problem.
Weaknesses, your top two.
Top two, overcritical, and I'm a workaholic.
Okay. Just, we had reviewed your resume prior to, and you kind of touched on this, so the separation agreement in both, you had two different villages.
I had 3 separation agreements in total.
Are you able to give us any information on those?
Oh, you can read the headlines of the Alpena News. You can Google it. I've got them on PDF somewhere. But it was budget. It was myself, a veterans counselor. They stopped funding to the MSU extension. There were a lot of cuts that had to be cut in Alpena County. And ironically, I'm glad you brought this up. Going back to Caledonia, one of the things that spurred Caledonia was I was asked by Alpena County to interview again, because they recreated the position and it was now a county administrator. And I did interview with them, and word got back to Caledonia that I was shopping, and they were worried about me leaving them in a lurch. So I entered into a separation agreement with them. And just so you know, a separation agreement, I received severance on all 3 of them. So I was, as separations agreement go, there's who to blame, and there was no blame sent to me. And in Nagani, if you Google, I can give you the names of those council people, but you can see what happened and what was going on in the later lawsuits that the city had against those council people. And you'll see that my recollection's pretty on point there.
I appreciate your time and your interest in this position. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Scott?
You're not at Caledonia now.
No, I'm not. No, I have a business. My hobby, I had lots of hobbies before cancer. I had to cut them out. I was a very, very avid scuba diver, and I sat on several state boards for underwater preserves in Michigan. And but my hobby is model railroading, and I have a business where I create model railroad equipment and products for the hobby. And it's doing 3D printing and well, I do any size, but actually the specialty is ON30. So it's HO track.
Commissioner Mayhew, any questions? Commissioner Serbrook? Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
Absolutely. What do you think my biggest challenges would be if I was given this position?
That's an excellent question. There's a lot to this position.
Yes,
it's a fairly new position. It was a first-time position that the previous individual, it was 5 years. A lot of changes, a lot of updates have happened. They need to continue to occur as well as policies, procedures, a lot of software updates. It's a lot of tough decisions have been made in the past year by various department heads and commissioners, and we are finally headed in a better financial direction. Communication, I think, is a big one. We have an interim right now who's Fabian. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
I would say, we've been able to get a fund balance. If you'd gotten a chance to look at audits from a few years ago, you would see that we ranked 83rd in the state for quite a while. I think we're up to 82nd now, but yeah, we might even get up to 81st this year. And
I only looked at the last 2 years, so.
okay, well, the last 2 years are gleaming.
Yep.
And so I think the biggest challenge is to maintain that and work within the departments in order to maintain that. Because it can't be all, a lot of cuts have happened, but it can't maintain with just relying on cuts. So it's a maintaining thing and that would be, I would think, the challenge coming up. We still have some policies that we need to put in place. We need to educate. That way, we still have a couple of departments that are living in the past and they'll have to be helped along.
Just so you know, when I go into a new position, as a lot of managers do, I go in and the first thing I look through is the policies. Because I want to see what rules I follow. And if you come across some, it's like, well, how come there's no policy on nepotism?
There is.
And, you pick.
That's highly, too.
Well, and that's the thing. How come, is there a policy on nepotism? Is there, outside, because, everybody says, oh, it doesn't matter. It's in the contract. Not everybody falls under a union contract. There's a lot of things that everybody adheres by. And if it's not covered under the union contract, then you look at the policies. And you got to make sure they're updated. And, the policies along with ordinances, they need to be reviewed constantly. I mean, that's one of the things I do is when I got some downtime, I like to read, and I haven't read a good book in quite a while, but I've read a lot of policies and ordinances, like zoning ordinances. The thing is, a lot of laws change. So that's
Constantly.
Feel you're pretty up on current laws, Michigan laws?
I'm an information geek.
Okay.
I'm an information geek. Yes, I do keep up on laws, and a lot of the laws that are rather scary. Because I'm going to tell you right now, one thing you may not know is Caledonia currently houses 2 very large data centers. Switch purchased the old Steelcase headquarters, the old pyramid. Anybody familiar with the pyramid? Well, Steelcase built a pyramid, and they never moved into it, and it went to a computer center. And then they just built a larger computer center, data center, next to the Switch building. And it's amazing on how many people in our community are abuzz about data centers, and they don't even realize we already have 2 of them. And a lot of the information, and that's the thing, you've got to get good information out and educate people, because there's so much misinformation going around out there. And, and that's the thing, I like to post things quite quickly. I was looking at your website, and I know that can use some dressing up, needs some help there. But I've managed people, I've negotiated union contracts, I've done human resources constantly, finances constantly, because if you want to, if you've got a council that wants to add on to the senior center, then you got to plan how you're going to pay for it. You got to dig up the money. Or if you have deep freeze, back in 2016, it was the deep freeze. Our frost went further than 12 feet in the ground. How we know that? Because the road commission only measures 12 feet and it went deeper than their thing measured. So we had water lines busting, bursting, and where were we going to get the money to fix things? So we had to come up and triage things, and we rebuilt. And I took things to the governor's office. I did great things in Lansing and in the federal, because we applied for FEMA and assistance through FEMA, and we got it. We declared emergencies, and I've been through emergencies.
Do you live in the Caledonia area now?
Yes, I do. Well, I live between the 2
If
places.
you were to get here, you're not gonna drive back and forth every day.
Oh, absolutely not. I would look for residential around here. I mean,
Maybe into Dairy Farm?
if they had a room. Well, I was gonna check with Jan down here, the attorney. I'm familiar with her, and I was gonna see if she's got a bedroom in that upstairs of that law office she's got down there. But no, I would become entrenched in the community. I couldn't do that. And and that's the thing. I'm looking for a long term. I'm a Gen Xer, but I've got a while before I can retire. So I plan, like I said, I'm looking for a place for the long term where I can be successful and help a community become successful. And I feel I've done that. In Caledonia, I was presented a to-do list. And that's then my next question. What's going to be the top things on your to-do list? Well, they made up a list for me. I hit them. And Caledonia currently is built out. And they have their own village hall. Yeah, we ended up, you know, they were with the township and they have their own village hall that you can call home now. And I, you know, rebuilt streets and stuff like that. I like to get the to-do list done so you can add to it or move on to the next thing. Because if you take care of the hard things, the fun things come later, you know, your rewards.
Longer night.
I appreciate your time, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner report, Commissioner Wiltie.
Well, I had started on, if you finished up on the housing, we had our Bench Memorial Park subcommittee meeting this afternoon. Got some diagrams, a local landscape company
Oh, nice.
got some starts. Our committee does like it, of course, we're gonna look at some adjustments. Commissioner Scott?
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, sure.
So it was a really good committee. I told LaDonna Schultz today, she has been instrumental in moving that forward. She's been doing a great job. We're excited for the future with that. A long ways to go, but we got a good start. I have a meeting tomorrow morning, Karen, and Randy Booth and West Branch Township, a long time coming meeting. We talked about this for a year and a half to 2 years, regarding the DBA captures. We need to, get the throttle down on this and get this taken care of. So we have a meeting tomorrow morning with that. I'm looking forward to that. Appreciate Karen's insight and knowledge on that. Building security meeting we had, last Wednesday. We stated that we were gonna have a special meeting off of that because we were having some complications and some issues with building security and court security. We had a special meeting this past Tuesday morning. There's a lot of communication going on. We left the meeting with a lot of things still up in the air. We did have a individual resign during the meeting. That was too bad to see that. Some people were expecting immediate answers. We cannot give those immediate answers. Me and Fabian and Commissioner Serbrook, we're not in a position to do that. But there is a lot of things that need to be figured out with our bailiffs and court security, and we're going to continue to move forward to get that figured out for what's best for the building. And the number one is the safety of our workers, safety of our people coming in and out of here, and that needs to be put at the forefront. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with this, and we need to get on this. So one big question that we have, and we're going to continue to talk with you guys, as you know, Commissioner Serbrook is now on building security, is who is the leader of this? You know, that's been a question I've been asking for a couple of years, and I never liked the answer of it. Kind of basically up to this point, you know, Judge Bennett's kind of taken part in it. He hasn't wanted it. Tim took some control in it. It's just like we haven't had a really good, solid, strong plan in place in order for that to really truly succeed. So we've got a lot of things to figure out, and we're going to figure those out.
I guess I just have a question about, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like, how did it escalate so quickly without it being, I guess, stopped? I guess I'm trying to think of verbiage here. Without, you guys meet how often?
3 months.
Quarterly.
I mean, because I had heard a little bit about it last week, and then on Friday I heard a little bit more about it, and it sounded like things had escalated quite rapidly, where some pretty rapid decisions had to be made, unfortunately, and it sounds like a very good employee who was doing a lot of administration duties resigned. I had different understanding as well through conversation as far as who was the leader of that. I remember him taking over and things being said. Apparently it wasn't in writing or whatever had happened. It's very sad that it escalated to this, because it sounds like we lost a very good employee that knew a lot from the management perspective, technology perspective. So that's very, very unfortunate. Things got that far before it was brought to you guys. It came to a head and was shoved to the security. It's sad it got to that point, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It is sad. It's too bad it happened. We do wish that, you know, out of that meeting, that individual would have gave us a little more time to get things figured out, but he made that decision and we need to move forward. But there's two parts. There's like who's gonna be the quarterback, the coordinator for the day-to-day operations of our bailiffs and court security, and then who's gonna oversee that? Who's gonna take on that pure liability, make sure the training's in place, make sure that we're continuing to progress. Those things haven't happened. So we are right now here and we've got to get this figured out.
You might want to touch on the meeting that's coming up with the bailiffs too, that we've got next Friday.
Yeah, so again, this is a very important item. So next Friday morning, we do have a meeting, that would be with, currently right now, Rick is the coordinator of the bailiffs. And it would be hoping that every bailiff can be there except for one bailiff working front door. But that'll be next Friday and, we'll just keep this conversation going. The sheriff and the undersheriff will be there. I think Judge Bennett can be there as well. So there'll be more to come on this.
If I can just add.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner, well, so being the new guy on the block, I think a lot of the issues was just a lack of communication. They weren't aware of the fact that the individual we're talking about to the left had been given the authority to coordinate by Tim. That information was not disseminated to the bailiffs. That's what was coming back to me. Again, being the new guy, that's what I'm seeing and that's what I heard from several of them. They just thought that he was interjecting himself into this without any authority to do so. So that led to some very harsh feelings. So hopefully we can get on the right track, get everybody on the same page. I think this meeting, this type of meeting should have happened probably a long time ago. So that you can get everybody that's involved in the same room and have the discussion so that everybody's got the same information,
Unfortunately, and I'm gonna intervene there, and maybe I'm a little bit more passionate about this, because I was on the building and security, but then meetings were conflicted with my schedule initially when it started, and I do recall Tim reporting the changes. It was in an open meeting. It must obviously not have been wrote down or documented correctly or in our documents or whatever.
Just going by the
But
feedback I got from
I
them.
know, and unfortunately, this is a lesson learned, and I agree, you gotta move forward, but I do recall bits and pieces of that. So anyways,
That's all. I just wanted to share my perspective that I got from
Okay.
what we had, so.
more to come on that. Keep us updated, please.
There's just one last quick thing. I've got some other things, but I can do it on the next meeting. LaDonna asked me to let you guys know on a few things on, Wednesday, February 18th. Sounds like the stakeholders, some of the workers are doing a Ogemaw County Olympics over at the Annex. You guys aware of this? And they're wondering if the commissioners wanted to put in the team. It starts on the 18th at 4:45 PM. So February 18th, we can think about it. Olympics commissioners, us putting on the team. We'd probably kick your.
What are the events?
Bring it.
What are the events?
Do I bring my walker? You guys got it.
Do I bring my walker?
And this one more thing, LaDonna asked me to ask, she's gonna give a report at our next COW on the mural that's been going on here. But she asked about the displays that are here in the building. The Ogemaw County Historical Society has agreed to redesign the two display cases for the 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The theme is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in Ogemaw County. The contracts for the project are Sally Ray and Patty Sicoli. So she just wanted permission from us if department heads are asking them to remove any materials that are currently in the displays, and that LaDonna would take control of that inventory of what's currently in there. She'll inventory the items and store them. And the Historical Society has expressed an interest in some of the items, like the bicentennial quilt. In the future, requests will be sent to the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners for a decision on the requests. So it's something for us to think about, but it does sound like the displays could get put in use with some good things for people to look at.
Commissioner Scott,
I don't have anything to report.
Commissioner Serbrook.
Went to Horton and Edwards. I missed West Branch because they changed the meeting time and I forgot they changed the meeting time. I showed up at 6 o'clock and the building is dark and I went, oh darn. Then I remembered that they changed the winter hours to, they met at 4 o'clock. So, And Commissioner Wiltie already touched on the court security and the veterans and the claims. That's it.
Personnel committee, we met last Friday. We are on our fifth rough draft. I did have two other individuals at will employees of the county that participated in that meeting, and they plan on distributing the current personnel committee to the other at will employees. I think they should have a look at it and have input on it. This thing needed a lot of updates. We also are including obviously the county administrator / controller position. And just trying to make things much clearer versus to people interpreting something totally different. So there'll be more to come on that. We have some more work to do on that. So Richland Township, I attended that. They got a new assessor. They talked a little bit about the treasurer is wanting to utilize different banks. They've used the credit union for an extended period of time. They are looking at Huntington's currently because they have a new treasurer over there. Trying to think of what else. They talked a little bit about the cemetery. Logan Township, I attended that as well. Their main conversation was trash, the trash account. Some costs have went up. And then I also attended 911 last night. Budgetary wise, things look good. Unfortunately, they are shorthanded again. They've had the influenza, COVID they're a pretty close knit group over there with some tight headquarters. So unfortunately, when viruses start, it knocks out a few of them at a time. So hopefully everybody will be back soon and well. And that's really it on 911. So I don't think I missed anything.
I know that long meeting is coming quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I did have no township meeting last night. Everything's going great there. Again, our board, breath to breath there, what's going on there with strength. We did give a raise to our blight officer, who is an absolute giant of an asset of Mills Township. And I thank him. We're super excited about a subcommittee that we're starting from blight. I think it could be something that would possibly maybe be mirrored throughout the state and the country once we really get it set up. Me and Steve will be heading that up. And then one more thing, because this building security, this court security is so important. The biggest thing that we need to figure out right now, again, is who is gonna run this. We did do analysis of the surrounding counties, and it sounds pretty much 100%. The sheriff's department runs building security and bailiffs. Liability wise, most of these surrounding areas do have a certified officer at the door. This is an officer, for example, I use it at Roscommon because I'm up there monthly for my county commissioner northern meetings. It's an officer in full-fledged sheriff patrol deputy gear. Sounds like that's kind of what it is in a lot of surrounding counties. Again, at the end of the day, it's 2026. Sadly, there's a lot of evil out there. We need to make sure that we're keeping our people safe. So we need to get this thing. And then just one more quick thing. Me and Commissioner Scott had a road commission meeting, and it was brought up about the great things that are happening in Logan Township and how things are going so much better there. And that's great to hear because I was at a few of those meetings, and they were.
Roads were brought up in Logan too. The road commissioner, Clint Marshall was, attended that meeting, that township meeting. So Chet, did you want to, before we go to general public comment and adjournment, what would you like to do? Come on up, sir.
So you want to have a discussion about next steps?
Yes, come on up.
I want to compliment you for staying focused. Like that, I've sat a lot of interview meetings and.
The whip right now. Let's go.
Okay, thank you. All right. Very good. Wow. Okay. So this is what I recommend. I'm gonna give you a 3x5 card. This is in full compliance with Open Meetings Act, in case anyone asks. You have to put your name on the top. This is not a vote. It's just a straw vote to get to the next level. So put down, if you think there's two candidates that you want to move on to the second level, put two. If you don't think there's two, put one. If you don't think there's any, leave it blank. We'll compile that. I'll give it to Breck. We'll compile it, and then we can have a dialogue how you wish to go forward. But sometimes it's very awkward to start the dialogue here. You have 4 candidates. You want to be respectful, you want to be kind to them, and this kind of gets the process going. And this will be part of the minutes, so Breck will keep the cards. And this is not a vote. It's just a straw vote to get dialogue. You have to put your name on it, yes.
Thanks, Joe.
Do you want them 1 and 2 or just?
Nope,
no
nope,
specific?
no, we're talking about if you want to move up 2 candidates to the next level. It's not a rank order.
Want the names?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're not rating them for one or two.
How else would you do it?
Draw a circle and put their name someplace on the circle, right?
Here you go.
I have great faith that y'all can call the rest.
I don't know what the names are, but.
Oh, here, I have it right here.
Yeah, and then- yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, cause I didn't bring that.
And you can help me.
No, I don't think we will.
Yeah, I have two so far.
Three.
Oh, yep.
I did it in alphabetical order.
That doesn't
Is that
matter.
all right?
You can do it any way you want. Thank you. Here we will. You have this paper there?
Was? Oh, I see how.
Yes. Just keep that first.
Okay.
No cheating. That's a good
But I
analogy.
wasn't supposed to put it in that order, you know? Get it
Let me
alphabetically.
forget my bag.
But
I always forget my bag.
All right.
Right.
Here, you're,
So.
keep this for the record. All right.
Keep them.
So, five you put Jimenez. So it's agreement between all of you. And then one vote for Halbrook and one for Thornton. So you want to proceed with two or just with one?
I'm fine with just one.
One.
If I have an opinion, I agree with just one.
I agree with just one.
Really? Wow.
I would like to.
I would say two myself, but I don't
I mean,
think,
do I have
I
one?
don't think that you and I have say.
Do I have one specific? We do. We have an opinion here. We haven't
I
had
don't-
Commissioner Mayhew yet. All we're doing is having conversation and they're meeting the elected officials and department heads. Do I think we had a better, the best interviewee? Absolutely. In my opinion, why I put the second one down, it just seemed like a little uneasy with the interview. Wasn't quite as clean and sharp, but I think the experience and the background was there. So I think that, in my opinion, why I put that second person down was I thought they deserved an opportunity to come in and meet with us a little more personable, and along with the elected officials. So that's why I went with my second choice.
Could you state the other two again?
Jody Holbrook and Jeffrey Thornton.
You know, these,
One.
Check.
mine was,
Different than mine.
yes. You know, these people spent time I don't think it's gonna hurt anything.
No,
by any means.
it's three different names that are on the list and I just thought that, the people in the people in the courthouse might have something to relate.
Clarification.
His second one on there.
Holbrook had two.
Did you put two down?
Yes.
Okay, so we missed one here. So then Jody had two.
Bring Jody in.
Again, and that was my rationale. I think her background is there. I think she seemed a little nervous. You know, maybe the interview wasn't quite as clean as the other one, but I think she, in my opinion, and this is my professional opinion, she deserves an opportunity to come in to meet with you all and to meet with us on a personal level versus a professional setting.
I'm fine with that.
Is there agreement? And we're talking about Thursday, the 29th. What time? What time?
I think four, yeah, I do have to be out of here by the predator hunt by 6:37. So will that give us ample time?
Yeah, because let's say an hour with each. We'll do the meet and greet beforehand. I'll work with Brett. We'll schedule them.
It's right around already?
Last weekend in January,
All
right.
I know you had one last week at 4 o'clock. I know you had.
not me.
So we'll do a meet and greet beforehand. Rick had a good idea. We're gonna do a potluck that day probably. You have a potlucks here anyway. So do the meet and greet with that.
3 o'clock for potluck, is that what you're guys?
Well, we'll
Oh,
work out
6:30.
no, we'll do it while the staff is still here, obviously. We'll work out the details,
Okay,
but the interviews will be on the 29th, 29th. 4 p.m. Will there be anything else on the agenda?
yes, a few things.
Beforehand or after?
Oh,
I mean, when do you want to start the interviews? If you start meeting at 4?
Well, you wanna go home early?
No, I'm just, because if you have business first, out of fairness to the candidates,
quickly.
start the interview.
Business pretty quickly.
Okay, do this, starting the interviews at 4:30 then.
Yep. Yes. Before I forget, let me remind you guys of something.
4:30.
The meeting will start at 4,
Interviews.
and it will start at 4:30. Correct?
Yeah.
With the 2 candidates. Okay, I will call all 4 of them between now and tomorrow morning. I'll get your schedule out.
Perfect.
Process. And then I'll work with you on the meet and greet.
Monday.
Yeah, okay, fine.
And I thank you for everything you've done.
No, we're making progress.
That's
That's what's-
appreciated.
Who do we end up with?
2 of them are coming, the 2 girls are coming back, the 2 females.
Okay.
Are coming back. I just want to, February, the first week in February, committee of the whole meeting, let's say nursing homes. Funeral home, Phil and the one are coming, and the medical examiner wanted to meet, I'm just keeping everybody on the same page, wanted to meet prior to that, one-on-one more, and I said, no, I want everybody here in the same room. So all of our questions are answered, we all hear the same thing, and everybody's on the same page, so nothing escalates, which it doesn't sound like it's nowhere's, it's not, just so we're all, it's communication,
Good with me.
so. But correct? Yes,
She's been invited.
she has been. So, motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh, public comment, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Come on up, sir.
I did have couple things. I too was at the road commission meeting on January 14th. Ken Schnauz. Yep, Churchill.
Go ahead, sir.
And and I don't know if the commissioners want to bring it up now or table it, but they were, the road commission was looking at asking for a millage request for funding.
Didn't make any decision.
Yeah, they didn't make any decisions.
No discussion at all.
Go ahead,
did
sir.
discuss.
He's got the floor.
Yes, but they were talking about for improvement and doing winter thing. The other thing I want to bring up on the road commission meeting is they right now are at 60% of their budget as of January 14th of their winter budget. And their snow, they're at 143% of previous year's snowfall. So they're doing a great job, but you know, it's costing a lot of money.
Thank you.
That's it.
Any other public comment? Come on up, sir.
Steve Yukas, Mill Township. It appears you've hired outdoor spaces for the veterans park.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they just,
They volunteered.
volunteered to draw that up, but it's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
have to be put, to bid and.
Okay, well, no, I was just gonna say, Chris and Emily have done work for me at outdoor spaces. They do a really nice job. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any public comment on the phone? No public comment on the phone? Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
All in favor?
Bye.
Okay, guys, we're out of here. Thank you guys for being patient and.
Being
Scott.
Yeah, see you in the morning.
Jenny.
See you in the morning.
Yes.
At the hall.